Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
High school basketball is on the air this evening, live from Story Gym. It's a double dip of high school action as Cheyenne South and Cheyenne East get together for conference action. High School Hoops on 1480 KRAE is being brought to you by our fine sports sponsors. Now, let's send it out to historic Story Gymnasium for basketball action ×2 as Cheyenne South and Cheyenne East match up with girls and boys action. To bring us all the calls, let's send it out to Story Gym and bring on Chris Polton along with Nick Proetti right here on 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Welcome inside historic Story Gymnasium. It's going to be our home pretty much the rest, all but one game the rest of the way for high school hoops.
Absolutely. Again, as Fridays here on 1480 KRAE with high school hoops, yes, we will spend most of our time here at Story Gym. For tonight's contest, however, we will see Cheyenne East take on Cheyenne South. Cheyenne South will be the host school. Again, even though this is a neutral site for both teams, but it's going to be a fun one, both girls and boys action. We were supposed to tip off about 19 minutes ago, but JV squad, a few fouls were called, or at least kind of a plethora there in the second half, but has kind of delayed us. But we will at least get underway here in about 9 minutes or so with the first contest here, at least today.
We will have an action-packed pregame show for you, as we'll hear from both head coaches, Chad DeBryan and Eric Wessling. Before we do that, though, let's thank our sponsors that allow us to bring you high school basketball all season. Maskin Robbins, Cheyenne State Bank, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Gill Window Company, Best Western Plus Frontier Inn, Little Philly, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, Platte Valley Bank, Taco John's, Marv's Plumbing and Heating, First Tier Bank, Big Apple Bagels, the Cheyenne Stampede, Pepsi of Cheyenne, our official sponsor of our scoreboard, Medicap Pharmacy, Kia of Cheyenne, Lennox Auto Body, the Bread Basket Bakery, First Education Federal Credit Union, Fat Boys Tire and Auto, B&B Appliance and TV, Capital Lumber Company, Halliday Motors, McGee Hernan Pies LLP, and the United States Air Force. As I had just mentioned, we caught up with both coaches. We'll start off with head coach Chad DeBryan right after this 1 minute timeout right here on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back to our 1480 KRAE High School pregame show, as we're now joined alongside South High Fightin Bison head coach Chad DeBryan. Coach, on Wednesday, your team kind of came out and frustrated Central in the earlier quarters, but again, it was just one of those things where, as we were talking before here, a little bit, they were very athletic and very long, and it just caused a little bit of problems throughout the night.
Yeah, they're the #1 defensive team in the state for a reason, and we started that game. We went down 7-0, took a timeout. We cut it 11-10 with 4 minutes left in the second quarter. We felt pretty good. And then everything from that point on going into halftime was pretty much self-inflicted.
And then for you guys, you kind of know you're probably going to see more zones than anything, especially with a player like Van Tassel and Callista, how they like to get inside. How important will it be, at least tonight, to get that outside shot working?
Well, I don't know if it's so much an outside shot for us. We are going to see a lot of zone, but we just got to get better at penetrating gaps, attacking gaps, and making shots when we get to open spots.
Coach, this East team ranked #2 in the state, but really when you look at Thunder Basin and East, maybe 1A, 1B at this point, as far as defending them, another team that has a little bit of size, some athleticism, how important will it be, one, that you get set up in your defense quickly because they like to run, but two, take care of the basketball against that full court pressure?
Yeah, and taking care of the basketball is huge for us. We get in such a hurry. You know, we're young. It's a growing process, and we get in such a hurry. And fundamentally, we got to just slow down, come to a jump stop, clear our heads a little bit. But, yeah, taking care of the ball is huge. Turnovers, and then the rebounding margin will be the next tail.
And then as far as they have one of the more elite scorers in the state, in Kai Buell, how important will it be? It's tough to stop her, but how important will it be to contain her, make somebody else beat you tonight?
You can't stop her, yeah, but containing her is pretty tough too, honestly. Yeah. But you just got to keep working hard against kids like that, and hopefully you have a kid. We have a kid that can match her, you know. And then, you know, we played her in Rock Springs last year, and our game plan was to box and one her and just take her away. You can't take her away, so I don't even know if we have a game plan for her tonight.
And then as far as your offense goes, you guys are really an inside-out offense. You like to get Riley the basketball down low. You like to see Callista, really all your guards. You like to see him penetrate, as you just said, against a team that does have length. When you're able to be aggressive and get them in foul trouble, how important will it be to really test the depth of East tonight and try to get them in foul trouble? So you guys are, I believe, would be the first win against East in school history.
Yeah, it would be. We've got lots of firsts on our list. In fact, we've got 7 things on our list of firsts that we will hope to accomplish this year, this being one of them, knocking off East. But, you know, getting kids in foul trouble, that's huge. If you can see a kid like Buell, for instance, you mentioned, if she goes to the bench with fouls, you know, that obviously works to our advantage.
Right, and a team that's as aggressive, I think 17 steals a game, you know you'll have that opportunity because they'll be a little handsy as well with your ball handlers.
You bet. But I hope they don't call it too tight because we get a little handsy at times too.
Absolutely. That's head coach Chad DeBryan. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back to our pregame show here on 1480 KRAE for high school action. We got East and South. We're now joined alongside Lady T-Birds coach Eric Wessling. Coach, successful on Wednesday against a Laramie team that can pose some problems, especially with Jennifer Adlin. But overall effort, how did you like the way they came out?
You know, I really like. This is another game where our team's coming together and they're sharing the ball well, and their defense is much improved. I think we took like 3 charges in that game. So when you have that, that's what you want as a coach.
A little minor tweak to the starting lineup. You had McEwen come off the bench. She played really well too. Maybe didn't score as much, but she's one of the players that took a charge and then just played smart overall. But as far as Kaylee goes, is it just a little bit taking the pressure off her a little bit and have her come in off the bench as opposed to starting?
You know, the luxury that I have is whatever I see in a matchup, I don't. It's never a disciplinary thing with those two, and they're big fans of each other, Kaylee and Abby. So it's really nice to be able to have 2 kids to say you're starting today, and they could care less, and they're ready to go. And so that was more of a matchup in what I thought Laramie was going to do against us, and then have Kaylee come in and kind of expose them to something different. So that's where we were there. And
then last question about Wednesday. It had to be nice to see Abby Erickson really be aggressive on offense and see her shot fall as well.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. It's, you know, when Abby's on, she's a fun kid to watch. She's a great passer. When she's aggressive on offense, she can get what she wants, and played really good defense too. So when she's on, it really helps our team, and that was great to see her do that on Wednesday.
Coach, this South basketball team, despite the fact they had a tough time against Central, they're young, they're athletic, and they play defense similar to you guys, where they're up in your face, they're trying to get steals and get in transition. Ball control, I think every game is in Eugene taking care of the basketball, but especially tonight in a young team, still a young team, making sure that you're not giving them easy buckets.
You know, young teams are dangerous. They just are. I mean, they can make a lot of mistakes, but if you give them momentum, they don't know any better to not know that they should be in every game they're in. So we've got to take care of the ball. Our seniors and our juniors who have played a lot of basketball have to understand their roles in terms of letting us or allowing us to run our stuff, and we should be fine.
And then as far as the way you guys like to play defense, that the full court pressure you guys have been able to apply, 17 steals a game, I think it's 2nd in 4A, just behind Rock Springs. You know, that's really what you guys hang your hat on is defense quickly into offense, and it has a lot to do with that full court pressure.
Yeah, we're a work in progress. I mean, we keep learning, and even though these kids learn our pressures in our form, the way we go about our pressures from 7th grade on, it's still important every year to kind of go back, and we're working into our personnel this year and understanding where we're best fit to expose teams full court, and we've been able to do that a little bit here lately.
All right, well, thank you, Coach Eric Wessling, for your time. More pregame right after this. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside Historic Story Gymnasium. I'm Chris Polton, joined alongside with my tag team champion partner, Nick Peretti, as we'll get started, get you now the starters.
We'll get you the starters, yes.
Right.
As simple as that.
Absolutely. East will be the visiting team. They're in the baby blues with the white letters. Sydney Miller, senior guard, number 3, 8 points, 4.5 rebounds a game. Number 11, junior forward, Madison Blaney, 9 points, 5.5 rebounds. Then it's their leading scorer, junior guard, number 13, Kai Buell, 17 points a game. She also has 4 steals a game. Senior guard, number 31, Abby Erickson, 6 points, 3.5 rebounds. Kaylee McEwen, senior forward, number 54, 5 points, 5 rebounds a game. For East, they score 61.5 points per game. They give up 45 points per game to their opponents, shoot 40% from the field, 30% from behind the arc, 58% from the field. Head coach Eric Wessling, they're 13-1 in overall, 1-0 in conference play. For head coach Chad DeBryan and his South Lady Fightin Bison, they come in at 5-6, 0-1 overall. His starting lineup is 0-1 in conference. They'll have sophomore number 2, Callista Martinez, 13.7 rebounds a game. Sophomore number 10, Autumn Shrove, 3.5 points, 4 rebounds. Sophomore number 12, Jaya Brown, 4 points, 2 steals per game for Jaya Brown. She leads the team there. Senior number 21, Felicia Senia, 7.5 points a game. And then sophomore number 22, Riley Van Tassel, she's their big, 12 points per game, 7.5 rebounds. 48 points a game is what the Lady Fightin Bison are scoring. 50 points is what they're giving up to their opponents. 37% from the field, 29% from behind the arc, 51% from the free throw line. Nick, for this young team, they got to stay in it early and try to build a little bit of momentum, because if they don't, this is a very savvy team, veteran savvy team.
It is a very savvy team for Cheyenne East. Again, Lady Thunderbirds, they are number 2 ranked team in Class 4A. It's going to be a tough hill to climb for the Lady Fighting Bison of Cheyenne South under Coach Chad DeBryan. This is going to be a huge test. As much as it is neutral court, you do have at least kind of the favoritism of it's simulated as if it's South home game. So, but yeah, they'll need to keep within. You hate to say it, but for Cheyenne South to pull up the possible upset here tonight, they need to play pretty much near perfect ball. Well, it's as simple as that.
Right.
You need to at least keep
take
control
care of the basketball.
Take care of the basketball, but also to spotlight one player as well as Kai Buell. You got to keep her under control. Kind of similar to what we saw, I do believe, where Kelly Walsh was able to do that over at the at least at the Thunderdome.
Yeah, and for South, they're going to have to find a way to get some threes to hit. And actually, there's a change to the starting lineup. Instead of Autumn Shrove, it's going to be Angelina Leggett that's in the starting lineup for South. South in the home whites with the gold letters. They're going right to left on your computer screen and your radio dial. Will be East with the basketball. Sydney Miller kicks it over to the left wing to Madison Blaney. Down low underneath the McEwen. Right hand scooper up and in for 2. Nice pass high-low between McEwen and Blaney. First 2 points for Cheyenne East. Full court pressure for East as Jaya Brown for South gets across the timeline, but it's stolen away by Sydney Miller on the pass, then taken away by Van Tassel. Back-to-back turnovers. Van Tassel's shot is off the mark. Pass over to Martinez as they get an extra attempt, and then Martinez throws it out of bounds on the air ball. So a lot of action right there underneath the basket, but South not able to tie it up with an extra opportunity.
Yeah, East is high-powered offense. They can score quickly. They certainly showed it, and they're showing it right now.
Left block, McEwen's got 2 quick points. She didn't start on Wednesday, getting the nod here. As you heard Coach Wessling say, they'll try to go more matchups. Another almost turnover for East, or a steal for East. 17 steals a game. That's second in 4A behind Rock Springs.
So basically what you're telling me is they are a very aggressive team, again, trying against these Class 4A schools.
East with the 4-0 lead, both buckets by McEwen. Jaya Brown across the timeline has Kai Buell up top on her, now driving into the lane. Stopping into the paint is Martinez, kick out to Leggett. Senior with it on the left wing, down low. It's Van Tassel's touch in the paint. She loses control. Kai Buell will pick up the easy steal. Here comes East in transition. Erickson looking coast to coast. It's swatted away, but the foul is called. It was Callista Martinez with the shot block. Instead, it'll be a foul on her first, team first.
So an early foul call here on Cheyenne South. It will be shooting opportunity for the East High Lady Thunderbirds.
You heard Coach Chad DeBryan talk about how they need to take care of the basketball. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers. Not a good start. Erickson's first free throw attempt is off the back iron and rolls in.
So it basically hit every part of that iron and then eventually fell in for.
This is a team that has worked hard in their free throw shooting. We saw them struggle against Kelly Walsh a little bit. And here it will be Erickson going 1 for 2, but McEwen grabs the offensive rebound and then stolen away by Callista Martinez. And then right there is Abby Erickson who comes up with the steal, and then East gets it right back. Kind of sloppy play as Miller will be called for the, no, they're going to call a travel before the foul. And you can see the assistant coach for South put his head up towards the ceiling, didn't like the call.
And as the far-away official was about to call a foul there, instead now it's East High Lady Thunderbird basketball.
Blaney with the basketball. South coming out in a full court pressure. Buell gets it through 2. It's 3-on-1 now. Buell will take it herself on the right block. Bank shot rattles in. Her first 2 points tonight. It's a 7-0 run to start, and Coach Chad DeBryan will call a timeout and ask the official why he overruled the other stripes. On the other side is not the start for Cheyenne South here. Is it just a 30-second timeout? We'll keep it right here.
Yeah, we'll keep it right here with 6:29 left here in the first. Yeah, definitely not a crisp start for the South High Lady Fighting Bison. Again, this is something you do not want to see, again, going against the number 2 team in the state. They're going to burn you, and they're so far burning you fast here in Story Gym. So right now, a quick timeout to possibly dispel, possibly end this 7-0 run that East has so far.
And what Central did get out to a quick lead against South. South was able to at least get it within 1 at one point early in that first quarter, but South in a lot of trouble. They've had 4 possessions and 4 turnovers. Shrove has checked into the game for Leggett for South High. Shrove with the basketball and now gives it over to Brown, who throws it up to Cena. They got numbers now to South. Fantassel on the left block, steps through 2 players, puts up the right-hand shot, and gets that one to roll in. A good possession out of the timeout.
Absolutely. It was as simple as that. To call that timeout, and now here you are ending that 7-0 run.
Blaney driving baseline, kicks over to Buell. It's blocked, or Erickson, it's blocked and out of play, but they're going to get Brown on the hand on the back.
So second team foul called on Cheyenne South for Brown, her first.
So that will take Erickson back to the line where she was 1 for 2 just a moment ago. 7-2 our score, 6:07 left in this first quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard as Erickson hits her first free throw. Erickson had a good night against Laramie, 15 points, just 2 points behind, or 3 points behind Kai Buell, who had 18. Erickson goes 1 for 2 again at the line, and Martinez will grab the rebound. Her second one tonight and turned it over. Blaney comes up with a steal. Miller on the opposite side on the left-hand block. Left-hand shot too strong. 2 East players collide on Martinez, and they're going to get a foul on East. It's going to be on Blaney, her first, team first.
And right now, the East High Lady Thunderbird showing that aggressive nature, especially on the defensive side, causing all sorts of turnovers for South.
3 steals already for a team that, again, averages 17, as Brown has it poked away by Erickson. Out of play will stay East or South basketball. 8-2 our score. Kaylee McEwen with 4 quick points out of the shoot, averaging just 5 on the season. So a good start for the big for the Lady Thunderbirds. Brown gets into the lane, and a block call as Erickson looked like she was set, but it wasn't square. Jaya Brown looked like she was in the act of shooting, and she will go to the line to shoot 2.
Second team foul called on East High.
First one on Erickson, as Jaya Brown will go to the line to shoot 2, just 51% on the season, 23 of 45. First one, nothing but net. That didn't look like a 51% free throw shooter there.
It certainly didn't at all. Again, now chips at least a little bit at the East High lead for the Lady Fightin Bison.
Brown with her second shot. That one's nothing but net. She goes 2 for 2 at the line, leads cut in half. 8-4 our score. Buell with the basketball for the Lady Thunderbirds. With the right-hand dribble, gets into the lane. 4 players converge. It's turned over initially, but Van Tassel couldn't hold on to it. It's out of play. It'll stay East basketball. As Abby Brady will come in for Kaylee McEwen. A good couple of minutes there for McEwen. As that's probably what you'll see is she'll come in for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then you'll see Abby Brady come in. As Coach Wessling had talked about their relationship. You've seen it early as Erickson puts up the shot. It's an air ball. Brown comes up with a rebound for South. Felicina, long past Martinez on the opposite corner, in front of the East bench. Van Tassel, 2 players converge on her. Goes to Shrove, who's wide open. Base shot goes off the right iron. Van Tassel initially had the offensive rebound. It was last touched by Van Tassel and out of play. It'll be East basketball.
If anything, for the Lady Thunderbirds, you got to give them respect that they realize that Van Tassel's a major threat for the Lady Fightin Bison. Again, realizing that she's a presence underneath, and again, double teamed her.
Brooke Bailey will come in for Abby Erickson. Into the game for the first time is Madison Mirich. She comes in for Autumn Shrove. Dribble handoff, and as they weave on the perimeter, does East. Bailey with it on the left wing. Now it's in the left corner for Blaney. Skip pass all the way over to Miller. Miller has 2 players on her as South is in a zone. Left wing 3-ball for Bailey. It's short, but Buell grabs the offensive rebound, puts up the high shot off the glass, and rolls through the nylon for 2. Another offensive rebound and put back for East. And Blaney comes up with a steal on the full court pressure. She lays it in for 2. She's got 2 steals and 2 points. And another timeout called by Coach Chad DeBryan. And he's not happy with, looks like his team, as it's going to be a full timeout. We'll take a 1-minute timeout here as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. South with the basketball as Coach Chad DeBrine's already had to use 2 timeouts in this first quarter. Martinez has it. She puts up a 10-footer. Nothing but net. Callista Martinez knocks in her first 2 points tonight, but that's got to be nice for Coach Chad DeBrine. 2 timeouts and 2 positive offensive possessions. Now they just got to sure it up on the defensive end. Buell, deep 3 from the right side. It's long, and Bailey comes up with the offensive rebound for East. Buell into the lane. Nice backdoor cut by Miller. Lays it in with the right hand for 2. Yeah. First 2 points for Miller. First assist.
As you talk about at least the defense for Cheyenne South, they were certainly at least asleep at the wheel right there and not realizing the open, at least offensive presence there for Cheyenne East.
Full court pressure for East. Brown for South across the timeline goes to Mirich. The bounce pass has fallen to the ground. It's Mirich and Bailey that will tie it up. The jump ball will stay South basketball, so South will inbound it underneath the hoop. It's Senia, Martinez, Van Tassel, Mirich, and Brown on the floor for South. Brady, Blaney, Bailey, Buell, and Miller. A lot of B's on the floor for Cheyenne East. It's going to be another tie-up. No, they're going to call a travel on Callista Martinez. It looked like Buell was trying to get in there to tie it up, as we'll see Autumn Shrove come in for Martinez as she runs towards the back end of the bench.
Well, it's interesting. You're talking about all those last names for Cheyenne East. You almost can say they're the B squad, but they are certainly playing like an A+ squad here tonight.
Absolutely. Miller will walk it across the timeline for East. They have the 14-6 lead with about 3:40 left here in this first quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard as Blaney picks up a nice easy bucket with the left-hand bank shot. It's 16-6. That's 10-point lead. Ties the largest of the night as Miller almost came up with her second steal tonight. Van Tassel will get the loose ball. Cena has it on the left wing, doesn't take the shot, and will wait for Jaya Brown to join the offense. She has it at the top of the arc, way up high. Buell really sagging, not playing too far up on her. Now as she gets a little bit closer to get the count going, Brown will get into the lane, kick out to Shrove. Shrove dribbling with the left hand, goes around Brady, but the ball comes to the floor, and Miller will grab it. Miller hands it off to Buell. Buell looking to push the tempo across the timeline. She'll slow it down now, get into the paint. Nice pass to Brady. Right hand, big shot, too strong though, and Mirich for South will grab the rebound. Good drive and dish by Buell, but Brady couldn't finish. As the ball goes out of play, it'll stay South basketball. We'll see Abby Erickson, Willow Martin, Kaylee McEwen come in. Buell, Brady, and Blaney will come out for East. Mirich comes out, and back into the game is Angelina Leggett.
I think plain and simple right now, the theme for the Lady Fightin Bison is it's a team right now just shooting themselves in the foot right now with all these turnovers.
2:40 left here on the Pepsi scoreboard in this first quarter. 16-6, East jumping out to the quick lead. Van Tassel had it initially, and then got it poked away by McEwen, and Bailey grabs the loose ball. Headman pass to Miller, and she will be fouled. Her shot went underneath the basket, but she'll go to the line to shoot 2, and the foul is on.
I do believe they're going to call it on Leggett. If it is, it would be her first. Either way, team's third foul called on Cheyenne South.
It will be on Jaya Brown, her second, as Miller will go to the line to shoot 2. Miller, a 70 or a 50% free throw shooter on the season. First one on the way, it's too strong. So again, as we see, the East started off slow from the free throw line. The last time we saw them, that was against Kelly Walsh. It was against Rock Springs they started off slow. They're starting off slow again, just 2 for 5, with the 6th one coming from Sydney Miller. She misses both, and the rebound comes to Leggett. Leggett's first rebound. She'll get it across the timeline. Nobody picks her up. Going coast to coast is blocked by McEwen. Martinez grabs the loose ball. Van Tassel has on the right block. It's an air ball, but a foul on the way up. Great block, though, by McEwen, as the foul will be the 3rd one on East, and it's the 1st one on Willow Martin.
So she'll pick up her first again. As you mentioned, team's third called on the East Side Lady Thunderbirds. Both teams sitting right now here in the first quarter with 3 fouls apiece.
Van Tassel's first free throw is on the way. Nothing but net. Looks like South is at least cashing in from the free throw line as Buell will come in for Miller.
And they need to take advantage of those opportunities, especially they're hitting that first one. Again, now brings down that lead from double digits to only just 9 points.
Van Tassel getting ready for the second one, 60% on the season. It's a rainbow free throw, goes off the right iron, and Kai Buell will grab the rebound for East. Erickson now trying to run the tempo. Martin has it in the right corner. Goes to Erickson on the cut. Nice Euro step around one. Scoop shot up and in for Abby Erickson, who's got 4 here in this first quarter. It's an 11-point lead, largest of the night for South. Martinez looking to go coast to coast. Another block by Kaylee McEwen. Van Tassel there with the loose ball, or with the rebound, or the loose ball off the block shot, and then Bailey will be called for a foul for East on the reach-in. Her first, team 4.
Yeah, team's 4th called on the East Side Lady Thunderbirds.
How about McEwen with 2 blocks to start tonight? Not letting the South Fightin Bison get in the paint with easy lay-ins. Leggett gets the inbound pass up the top of the arc, goes to Shrove on the left wing. They're trying to work the perimeter, try to find a lane to get in. Or at least Martinez is trying to find a way to get a seal on Martin, but it's not working. Deep 3, Senia, bank shot off the mark. Shrove grabs the offensive rebound, hands off to Senia. She'll put up a 10-footer. It's bank shot off the mark and a foul on Kayla McEwen for a push.
So Kaylee will pick up her first foul, team's 5th against Cheyenne East.
So a couple of opportunities here for a couple of opportunities for South as they try to cut into this 11-point deficit. The pass will go all the way into the backcourt. Shrove able to run it down, but then she traveled. 8th turnover in this first quarter.
An error pass that evolves into a travel call, another turnover for Cheyenne South.
18-7, a minute 35 left in this first quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. Bailey has it at the top of the arc for the Thunderbirds. Buell on the right wing, dribbling with the left hand, goes into the lane, goes through one, and tries for the scoop shot, and the rebound will come down to Willow Martin and Martinez as we'll get a jump ball. One thing you got to like, though, is every loose ball right now is a battle between both the Fightin Bison and the T-Birds as McEwen comes out and Brady comes in.
Absolutely. Either way, though, with that jump ball, it will still stay with Cheyenne East on the offensive zone.
Buell open in the right corner for 3. It's short, and the rebound comes to Martin again. Step through move. Her shot's too strong. Brady grabs the rebound, has it taken away by Martinez. Lob pass to Senia. She has to slow it down, though. Didn't really give her a chance to lead, and then she has it stolen away by Abby Brady. Team's going back-to-back with the turnovers. Now Erickson will kind of cool it down just a little bit. Bailey has it in the right corner, looking for a skip pass. Instead, will drive baseline, has 3 players converge on her. Her pass is turned over. It's going to be Leggett that comes up with the steal, the 6th turnover in the first quarter. Leggett goes 1-on-3 over Erickson. Bank shot, rattles in.
That was a phenomenal shot right there by Leggett. Again, 3 blue shirts right in front of her, and still finds a way to get that to sink.
Buell trying to go drive and dish with Brady. Brady misses another bunny lane, grabs the rebound and puts it back in. Her first 2 points tonight.
And it's a simple for Brady using that height advantage over Cheyenne South, again in the easy deuce.
Well, she owes Buell a couple assists now. Buell's given her a couple nice passes. That pass goes to no one by Senia. As we'll see Blaney and Miller come in. Martin and Bailey will come out. Kenzie Stensas will come in for South, as well as Madison Mirich. Van Tassel and Senia will take a seat for the Lady Fightin Bison. 20-9 the score, the 11-point lead. 15 seconds left on this first quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. A strong start for the Lady Thunderbirds. One of the few times, at least when we've been here, that we've seen a 20-point quarter out of them. Erickson has it, goes left corner, 3-ball by Buell. Too strong, and the rebound will come to Martinez, and that will be the horn to end the first quarter. 20-9 our score. East with the lead. We'll take a 1-minute timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Well, 15 combined turnovers in that first quarter. Both teams not playing very clean. 9 for South, 6 for East, but East with the 20-9 lead.
For Cheyenne East, though, it was plain and simple that they were finding offensive rebounds, at least taking advantage of those turnovers, converting them into points. Again, right now do have the 11-point lead over the Lady Fightin Bison.
Leggett will have the basketball for South with Mirich, Stensas, and Martinez, and Shrove on the floor for South. East will have Erickson, Blaney, Brady, Buell, and Miller. Martinez has the basketball, goes to the left wing to Leggett, fakes the three, will go to the top arc. Martinez open for a straightaway three, got it to go through the back iron. It's the first three ball of the night for either team. 20-12 is the score. Martinez now with 5 points for South.
And how about that for an introduction, at least to a quarter for Cheyenne South? They're hitting a huge three.
Skip pass in the left corner. Blaney has it. Goes to the left wing to Erickson. Gets in the lane. Or she tried to go with the scoop shot and then decided to pass. Martinez comes with the seal. Baseball pass to Leggett. Runs it down. Bank shot. Rattles in for Leggett. Good steal by Martinez. Her fourth one and assist. Leggett's got 4 as well. It's a 4-0 run for South to start the second quarter. Buell with the basketball. Tries to go down low. It's stolen away by Mirich. Great job there on the pass deflection. It's the second turnover in 2 possessions for Cheyenne East. With the basketball, down low, Shrove has it, kicked it out of bounds. It'll be East basketball. Another turnover for South. It's their 10th turnover on the night.
But how about that, though? Again, to start out this quarter, a team on fire for Cheyenne South, a 5-0 run, which again still is continuing on for Lady Fightin Bison.
We talked to Coach Chad DeBryan. The one thing this team is missing is just that consistency. You've seen spurts of great basketball. They just haven't been able to maintain that level. A 1-3-1 zone for South. Maybe a little box and one. Nice backdoor pass. A little too much sauce on it, though, as it goes through the hands of Erickson. Another turnover. That's the 9th turnover. 3 in the first 4 possessions for East in the second quarter. Van Tassel with the basketball. Goes over to Leggett, who gets it across the timeline for South into the lane, left block. Big shot up and in over Brady. Leggett was 6. And the lead cut to 4 as now it's a 7-0 run for South. Buell gets in the lane, puts up a long 2, nothing but net for Kai Buell, and that's why you love to have that type of score. That's how you end a run.
Again, stops the bleeding there for Cheyenne East just temporarily.
And then she just straight up takes the ball out of the hands of Mirich. Coach Chad DeBryan calls for Mirich to be a little bit stronger with the basketball. It's a jump ball call, but it will stay East basketball. Brady comes out. McEwen will come in for Cheyenne East. Buell with the basketball. 22-16 our score. East finally on the board here in this second quarter. About 2 minutes in. Buell with the right wing 3. It's short, and McEwen tried to grab the rebound. It looks like it's going to be last touched by Van Tassel. And right now, even when you try to box out, it's just the size is just a little too much for South underneath the basket.
And again, with Caitlin McEwen, she is a big body down there. She is at least finding a way to at least create spacing for Cheyenne East.
Miller gets the inbound on the left wing. It's in the corner. Blaney driving baseline, puts up the short 2. It's off the left iron, and Martinez grabs her 3rd rebound tonight. And then it will be fouled by Blaney. And for Madison Blaney, that's her 2nd, team 6. So we talked about getting them in foul trouble with Coach Chad DeBryan. You got to like the fact you got one of the starting bigs in foul trouble with Blaney.
Certainly, again, 16 foul called on Cheyenne East compared to Cheyenne South with only 3 here in this first half. Again, next foul call for Cheyenne East will put Cheyenne South in the bonus.
Blaney has to come out. Willow Martin checks in for the Lady Thunderbirds. Van Tassel with the basketball for South and will hand it off to Shrove. Shrove walks it across the timeline. Now is met by 2 East defenders. Goes to Martinez, who's able to barely hang on to it over the defense of Abby Erickson. Leggett has it at the left wing, looking to get into the lane. She's been putting her head down and going strong, and that one is a miss. Martinez grabs the loose ball. Her straightaway 3-pointer's off the mark. Van Tassel grabs the rebound. So it's another opportunity here for Cheyenne East, or for South. Van Tassel, left block, working on McEwen, who's already got 2 blocks tonight. Leggett in the left corner, up top to Martinez. Now they'll reset their offense and slow it down just a little bit. Martinez asking for Leggett to come and grab the ball, dribble handoff, as South has to start their offense so high with East playing their man defense and playing it with heavy pressure. In the left corner, Mirich goes down low on the right block. Charge call on No, they're going to call a block. And that gets the East bench up on their feet as well as some fans just below us.
Same with the South bench, at least getting excited for that call, as it will be the 17th foul against Cheyenne East.
And how about for Erickson? That's now 2 on her.
Yeah, so again, few players right now for Cheyenne East in difficulty. Again, a couple of their bigs as well that have been causing problems for Cheyenne South with a little bit of foul difficulty.
Well, the officials are trying to inbound it underneath. It should be 1-on-1, and that's going to be their best free throw shooter for South, Callista Martinez, that's going to the line to shoot 1-on-1. And this is where South has been able to really outplay East, is at the free throw line as they started off 4 for 4, whereas South is 2 for 6.
And this is where they need to at least sink these and get back into this contest.
Martinez first one. That rolls in. First one that's touched any rim tonight between both teams.
And for Cheyenne South, they are pretty much cash money from the charity stripe, and it's what's keeping them within this contest.
And I had said that they were a perfect 4 for 4. Van Tassel went 1 for 2, so right now they're 4 for 5. The 6th one coming from Martinez. That one's nothing but net. Now they're 5 of 6. And for Martinez, she has a game-high 7. It's a 4-point lead for East. It's been as high as 11 here in this first half. We're about just over halfway in this second quarter. With the basketball, Miller goes in the lane, has 2 players converge on her. Bailey, who checks in for the Lady Thunderbirds, has it at the top of the arc. Buell on the left wing, dribbling with the left hand, gets in the lane. Turnaround jumper from inside the paint. It's short, and Shrove grabs the rebound for South. Here comes South with a chance to cut it to a 1 possession. Van Tassel with the heavy pass from Martinez, goes right through her hands and out of play.
Kind of the rare mistake for Cheyenne South here in the second quarter. They've been playing at least a little bit better basketball than what we saw there in the first. Again, a rare missed opportunity for Cheyenne South.
Just their 3rd turnover in this quarter compared to 9 in that first quarter. Senior will come in. Martinez will take a seat. I'm assuming Coach Chad DeBrine will be giving her a very quick breather, as she's been probably the best player on the floor here in this first half, especially for South. 4:10 left on the Pepsi scoreboard. 22-18 East with the lead and the basketball. High screen and roll. Buell dribbles in the lane. Kick out. Martin traveled. That's another turnover for East, and they've not done very well in taking care of the basketball in this quarter. It's their 5th turnover. They have 10 in the game. Schroeb will get it into Mirich. Mirich will throw it over to Cena. She's at the half-court mark trying to get around Buell. She does so. Double team, nearly taken away by Buell. Schroeb will be way up top and slow down the offense. Leggett, who's been very good for South and getting into the lane and finishing. She's got 6. Right elbow, Van Tassel has 3 players converge on her. Kick out. Cena has it now at the right wing. Leggett, left wing, goes to Shrove in the left corner, dribbling with the left hand, working on Bailey. Kick out. Cena for 3 on the right side. Too strong, and the rebound will come all the way out to Sydney Miller, who picked the pocket of Cena, who was trying to grab it. Miller goes coast to coast for 2. Great hustle by the senior guard, who's going to be playing soccer at University of Wyoming next year. 24-18, East with the lead. Showing off that soccer speed right there, Nick. Cena with the basketball, has it go through her legs. Mirich will bounce it off the leg of Schroe. Lucky for South, they're able to slow it down, and Schroe able to restore kind of some type of tempo on offense as the ball was just ping-ponging everywhere. Van Tassel on the right wing. McEwen playing defense, pretty sagged almost in the paint, and then Van Tassel started running before she dribbled, and it's going to be another turnover for South.
Another missed opportunity for Cheyenne South on the offensive end. Again, to get back within this contest here. Again, as they've gotten it close. It was at one point in time a double-digit lead for the Lady Thunderbirds. And right now, again, kind of seeing those bad mistakes of what we saw in the first by Cheyenne South.
Miller with the basketball as Erickson checks back in with their 2 fouls. Right wing 3 for Bailey. Back iron. Miller grabs the rebound. Her shot is blocked by Leggett. As Leggett looking to push the tempo, it's 4-on-2. Kick out. Martinez, right corner 3. It's going to be an air ball, but right to Shrove. Good job there by Miller to get her hands in and grab the steal. Miller looking to go to Erickson, who runs the floor with her. She's fouled on the way up. It goes underneath the basket, so Erickson will go to the line to shoot 2, and the foul's on Shrove.
14th foul called on Cheyenne South for Shrove, her first.
And for South, they're doing a very good job on defense, not picking up fouls.
Absolutely. They've at least turned it around since the first quarter, where they were allowing everything to fall, at least get inside on them for Cheyenne East. For Cheyenne South, it's been a completely turnaround here in the second quarter of not allowing those inside lanes.
Brady throws the basketball away after trying to give it to the inbounder, and they're going to say it was tipped. And Mirich throws her palms to the sky, saying she never touched it. Brady and Emma Jacobson for East check-in, as Coach Wessling having Emma Jacobson, a sophomore, come in to get some minutes with Blaney with 2 fouls. Jacobson gets into the paint, puts up the bank shot, too strong. The rebound comes right to Abby Brady, who banks it in for 2. Very right place, right spot kind of play for Abby Brady, who has 4 points. Lead back up to 8. Stensas will come in for Van Tassel and then travel. Got a little too ahead of herself and then went to jump before she made the decision to pass. And because of that, it's another turnover. As we were saying, South taking care of the basketball. Now they're not.
Yeah, they're reverting to bad habits of what they were in the first quarter here. It's not a good sight so far for Chad DeBryant's squad. They were at least kind of feeling the momentum here, getting back within this contest, and now Cheyenne East taking advantage. Andrea
DeMoss will come in for South as Mirich will come out. Stensas with a quick plug or a quick pull with Van Tassel coming back in. Bailey for East, driving baseline, blocked by Martinez, and they're going to get DeMoss with the foul. A late whistle.
A very late whistle. It will be the 15th foul called on Cheyenne South.
For DeMoss her first. They're going to say it was on the floor, though, even though the shot came well after the whistle came well after the shot. Miller comes out, Buell back in, Erickson inbound for East. 26-18 the score. Nice entry pass to Brady, who banks it in for 2. She's not quietly got 6 points in this first half. Erickson picks up her first assist tonight.
As we were given high praise for Cheyenne South and their defense fell asleep on that play.
28-18, Martinez goes to the paint. No one picked her up. Left block for Van Tassel. Nice move around Brady, banks it in for 2. She's got 5, and that ends the 6-0 run by East, who South had it as close as 4, but it got up to 10, back to 8, though, with that bucket.
Ends that scoring drought for the Lady Fightin Bison.
Jacobson has it in the left corner, goes to Buell, kick out to Erickson. Erickson, right-hand scooper around Van Tassel, too strong. Nice rebound by Brady. She misses the first shot, puts up the second one. That one was also off the mark, and Martinez grabs her 5th rebound. In transition, DeMoss cherry picking the other way. Her first shot is off the mark. Good thing for Van Tassel being there. We'll grab the offensive rebound and lay it back in. The lead back to 6 for East. Buell with the basketball, puts up the quick 3. That one rolls in through the back iron. Buell hits her first 3 ball tonight. She's got 9 points, lead up to 9. With under 35 seconds in this second quarter, as the pass from Cena to Van Tassel's knocked out of play by Brady. 34.9 left here in this second quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard, as McEwen will come in for Jacobson and Martin will come in for Brady for East. So a game that we thought East should be able to really
take full control.
And really just be able to do whatever they wanted with the athleticism and size, but South putting up a good fight. DeMoss, left corner 3. Nothing but nets for Andrea DeMoss, who's a JV player. We saw her play a lot of minutes in that game right before ours. Cuts the lead back to 6.
Well, how about that answer back of a Kai Buell 3 with a 3 of your own?
Buell with the basketball. Down low, McEwen has it taken away by Van Tassel. Martinez, headman pass to Leggett. There's 4 seconds on the clock. Leggett racing, puts up the shot. It's short, and the rebound will come down to Brooke Bailey, and that will be the final horn of the half. Well, we got a close one through 2 quarters of play. East with the 31-25 lead over South. We'll take a 2-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Well, Nick, we talked about how South needed to come out and really get out to a good, quick start to give themselves some momentum. They didn't get that quick start. I believe it was a 7-0 run.
It was, it was 7-0 run to start out the first, at least, quarter. Again, a fast start for the Lady Thunderbirds. It was something we, again, to be honest, were expecting. Again, this is a number 2 team in Class 4A, a team that has only lost one time so far in this season. They have proven that they have speed, they have agility, they have very talented shooters on this team. And again, they were here, they showed up, they were ready for Cheyenne South. Though it took them about a quarter. It took at least again that 7-0 run, a Chad DeBryan timeout, which eventually led to a 2-pointer for at least Cheyenne South. Right now, so far, again, to summarize of the first half of what we're seeing, Cheyenne East, it's a team still trying to find its identity here in this contest, but it's a team that is taking advantage of the turnovers by Cheyenne South. It is trying to put points on the board for Cheyenne South. They're also trying to find their identity right now. They've had spurts of very good defense, very good runs on the offensive side, but it's been very inconsistent, and also, too, the turnovers have been very costly for the Lady Fightin Bison.
Well, and another thing, you're going to hear two different locker rooms right now. I'm sure Coach Wessling is going to be talking to his girls about the unacceptable play in that first half. This should not be a 6-point deficit with how many turnovers they created.
Yeah.
But unfortunately for them, they've also given the ball back to South. Whereas for Coach Chad DeBryan, he's going to be like, guys, we did not play very well. We had 14 turnovers in that first half. We're down 6 points.
Yeah,
so that's a positive for one side, whereas the other is going to look at it as a big negative.
And I think for the Lady Fightin Bison, it is simple as what you just said there of, hey, if you're Coach Chad DeBryan, you're that team, you're very thankful, you're very fortunate that you're only down by that. It was starting to get out of hand with a double-digit lead for Cheyenne East there, again, midway of this first half. Right now, you got to give credit to Cheyenne South of being competitive, fighting back, showing heart and will, and again, not backing down against that number 2 in front of Cheyenne East is not bothering the Lady Fightin Bison right now.
No, not at all. We'll take another 2-minute timeout and have the first half stats for you as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside historic Story Gymnasium as both men's teams are starting to warm up between South and East as we're at half. 31-25 East over South. Let's take you through our first half stats. First for East, they were led by their leading scorer, Kai Buell, with 9 points. She chipped in with 2 rebounds, 2 assists. She probably could have had 2 more if Brady finishes a couple.
Yeah.
And she also had 2 steals in that first half. You also had 6 points for Abby Brady with 3 rebounds, 4 points for Abby Erickson, 4 points for Kaylee McEwen, 4 for Blaney, and 4 for Sydney Miller. They did have 11 turnovers in that first half. I'm sure something that Coach Eric Westling's not going to be excited about. They are 2 for 6 from the free throw line. For South, they fought tooth and nail to get it as close as they could before the end of the half, and they can really thank a lot. Riley Van Tassel with 7, Callista Martinez with 7. Callista also has 5 rebounds and 4 steals, something we'll look at as well, as she's well on her way to maybe a potential triple-double. Van Tassel, 7 points for her, just 2 rebounds though. Leggett with 6 points, doing a great job driving into the lane. Jaya Brown's got 2 points. Andrea Dimas off the bench, way deep off the bench, as she's really a JV player, hits a 3 towards the end of that second quarter. She's got 3 points. They went 5 for 6 from the free throw line. A highlight for Coach Chad DeBrine. They did have 14 turnovers, and really, I would say 5 of those 14 came in the last 3 minutes of that second quarter.
Yeah, it certainly felt like that, but either way, though, for Cheyenne South, as I just mentioned a few minutes ago, with the Lady Fighting Bison, they're very fortunate to be at the point that they are right now. Key coming out of the second half for the Lady Fighting Bison, again, if they want to upset this Cheyenne East team at this point in time here at Story Gym, you got to limit those turnovers, but also, too, you got to take advantage of Cheyenne East, who have been turning over the ball. At least it kind of picked up there in the second quarter. You need to take advantage of those turnovers and convert them into points. What we saw midway through the second quarter for Cheyenne South, it was a defensive effort where they were blocking out those lanes, again, not getting those easy routes to the basket for Cheyenne East. You need to see more of that. For Cheyenne East, it's pretty much of play that ball that you were in the first quarter of, again, boxing out, using your bigs. Again, you do have some of your bigs with foul difficulty, but we'll see how that plays out. But again, box out, just be aggressive on the inside, and that should lead to an easy victory for Lady Thunderbirds here tonight.
Well, and one thing to watch out for East, Madison Blaney with 2 fouls, Abby Erickson has 2 fouls, and for South, Coach Chad DeBrine, he's very wise as far as the coaching philosophy goes, and that's get their best players or get their biggest players in foul trouble, because size is not something that they can match up with against this East team. So if they can get players like Abby Erickson, who's a bigger guard, or Madison Blaney, who's also a bigger athletic post, it's something that could bode well for them. We'll take our final 2-minute timeout and have the start of the third quarter. After this 2-minute timeout, you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Action across the, or well, at least the other team in action here in Cheyenne is Central.
They're over the hill
Yeah.
there in Laramie.
They were able to make it despite a couple of games canceled today, Riverton and Rock Springs, and I think a couple of 3A games were canceled because of weather. But Central is up 18-12 at half at Laramie as we'll get started here in this third quarter. Now going left to right on your computer screen and radio dial is South. As the pass from Brown to Senia is kicked out of play by Erickson. It's Brown, Van Tassel, Shrove will start this third quarter instead of Leggett. Senia and Martinez on the floor for South. East has Miller, Buell, McEwen, Blaney, and Erickson. Both Erickson and Blaney with 2 fouls for East to start this third quarter. It is 31-25, South with this first possession, as they've been able to hang tough in the first 2 quarters. Martinez dribbling to the right side, nearly taken away by Sydney Miller. Van Tassel fakes the shot, goes in the lane, puts up the left elbow jumper. It's an air ball. Senior tries to save it underneath the basket, but she stepped out of play. It'll be East basketball as East comes out in a 1-3-1 zone pressure against South to start the quarter.
Do want to quickly mention as well, too, on the scoreboard, Cheyenne Stampede in action tonight, at least a 3-game series up in Casper, as they will see the Casper Bobcats this weekend.
Miller with it on the left wing, puts up the 3 ball off the front iron. McEwen grabs the offensive rebound. 3 players converge on her, and Martinez will pick her pocket and come up with her 5th steal tonight. And then it's an offensive foul, I believe it's an offensive foul on Brown.
We'll see what the call is.
It is an offensive foul on Brown. That's her 3rd, so she's in foul trouble for South.
First team foul called on Cheyenne South here in this half.
So East will retake the possession, a chance to add on to this 6-point lead. Kick over to Blaney in the corner. She drives baseline, puts up the right-hand floater. Way too strong as it's an air ball. Shrove grabs the loose ball, her 5th rebound tonight. Brown across the timeline, dribbles through 3, goes to Martinez, and Martinez tried to go to Van Tassel. Her pass was batted away by Erickson, but right back to Martinez. Cena has it on the left wing, way up high. Again, this South offense has to start up high with the pressure that East is supplying. Shrove with it on the right wing. Goes down low, Van Tassel. Nice move around McEwen, puts up the right-hand shot, too strong. McEwen grabs the rebound, her 4th rebound for East tonight. Erickson across the timeline, looking for Blaney as she cuts. Instead, will keep it herself, put up the right-hand shot, off a couple of bounces off the back iron, and Blaney grabs the extra, or the offensive rebound. It's a 3-pointer hit by Kai Buell from the left wing, so the extra opportunity back-breaking for South as Kai Buell hits her 2nd 3 ball. It's 34-25, a 9-point lead.
And that 3-point shot right there by at least Cheyenne East. It's the first points here in this third quarter.
And for Kai Buell, she's the first player in double figures. She's got 12. Again, it leads this team with 17 points per game. Brown across the timeline. Miller playing defense on her. Brown puts her head down, puts up the right-hand shot, fouled on the way up. And she will go to the line to shoot 2. And for Sydney Miller, I believe that's going to be her 1st foul.
Team's first called on Cheyenne East.
So Jaya Brown will go back to the line to shoot 2. She's 2 of 2 tonight.
Or Cheyenne South from the charity stripe has been at least near perfect.
5 of 6 in that first half. Brown misses her 1st, though.
As that is the announcer jinx right there.
Right. Brady will come in for McEwen, who will take a seat. And Brown gets set for the back end of her 2 free throw opportunities.
And for Cheyenne South, that is huge. Seeing McEwen head to the bench, that is one big body that they do not have to worry about on the inside.
Second one for Brown. That one is a much better result as that rolls in through the back iron. 8-point lead for East, 34-26 with 5:55 left in this third quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard as Buell gets in the lane, rolls it in for 2. She's got 14, all 5 points for East here in this third quarter, lead up to 10. It's been as many as 11 tonight. Shrove gets it across the timeline, going right towards Brady. Left-hand scooper off the front iron. Brady grabs the rebound for East. And now Buell looking to headman pass to Erickson. It's picked off by Martinez, her 6th steal tonight. Martinez looking to go coast to coast. She loses control, and it's out of play. It's the 16th turnover for South tonight as Leggett will come in for Felicia Sena, who does not have a point tonight.
Good effort by Brown there on the at least potential fast break, but again, just got a little too wacky, too little out of control on that. Again, another turnover by Cheyenne South.
Buell walks it across the timeline, picked up by Leggett at the top of the arc. She gets into the lane. 3 players converge on her. Kick out pass to Miller. The skip pass on a good one for her to catch and shoot. She'll kick it to the right wing to Blaney. Blaney looking for someone to cut back door. Instead, will put her head down and drive and dish to Brady, but nice defense by Van Tassel knocking it out of play. So East will have the basketball underneath, a 10-point lead with 5:02 left in this third quarter. Blaney has it in the right corner. Erickson, right wing. Kick over to Miller, who was open for three on the left side. She's fouled by Martinez.
And that is the one foul you do not want to make. And again, that will equate to 3 shots now for Cheyenne East, as that is the second team foul called on Cheyenne South.
Well, I think she realizes every game we've done together, there's been somebody that's fouled a three-point shooter.
Yeah.
So you got to stick with the status quo, I guess.
For Martinez, she'll pick up her second foul.
Miller misses the first. She's 0 for 3 now tonight. As a team, they are 2 for 7.
Again, that is a glaring stat for Cheyenne East as you're trying to extend out this lead and pretty much put Cheyenne South to bed. Again, you need to make these free throw shots.
Miller twirls the basketball, puts it up with the right hand. That one is nothing but net. She puts the lead back up to 11. Again, this ties the largest lead of the night for East, and with one more free throw coming, could make it the largest lead of the night. Third shot on the way. She goes 2 for 3 at the line. Much better results that time for Sydney Miller. It's a 12-point lead for East, as they've come out very tough here in this third quarter. As Miller, a little too much contact as she went for the steal. And for Sydney Miller, it's her second foul of the quarter, second one of the game. Second team here in this second half, as Bailey will come in for Erickson for Cheyenne East.
Kind of twos aplenty for Cheyenne East there on that play.
Martinez looks the inbound, goes to Shrove in the left corner as South is trying to get it past this full court pressure that causes 17 steals a game for East. Brown with the basketball on the right wing, dribbles with the left hand. Now she's at the top of the arc directing the offense. Dribble between the legs. Now she's going with the right hand. Goes into the lane, runs into Blaney. She's blocked on the way up by Blaney. And now Madison Blaney's got 3 fouls.
Team third on Cheyenne East.
Jaya Brown back to, no, they're going to say the foul's on the floor, so they'll have to inbound it underneath the basket as here comes Martin for East. I would assume to take out Madison Blaney.
And that will be the play again as she picks up her third foul, so she'll have to spend some time on the bench.
4:35 on the Pepsi scoreboard here in this third quarter. The inbound pass is going to be right back to Shrove. It was tipped by Brady. Leggett has it on the left wing, back to Brown. Brown once again will slow it down and set up the play for South. Leggett dribbles with the left hand, and they start a dribble weave way up high from the perimeter. And now Martinez gets into the lane. Nice seal by Van Tassel. Lays it in for 2, does Martinez. But that play was really made by Van Tassel on the great seal, not allowing for any help defense. Lead cut to 10. Buell with the basketball for East. At the top of the arc, dribbling with the left hand, gets into the lane as South is in a 2-3 zone. Miller, right wing, goes to Martin in the corner. They try to go down low to Brady. It's a skip pass. Buell will put up a 3 from the left side. It's off the back iron. Martin grabs the offensive rebound for East. Buell, a couple of head fakes, dribbling with the left hand, goes up top to Bailey. Bailey at the top of the perimeter, goes to Buell as they dribble weave. Buell will put up another 3-ball, nothing but net. Kai Buell with her third 3-ball tonight. Lead up to 13 now, the largest, as Miller grabs a steal, lays it in for 2. Easy steal and 2 for Sydney Miller.
How about that, a 5-point play for about 2 seconds off the clock for Cheyenne East.
Kai Buell comes up with her third steal tonight, puts up the 3-ball, it's long, and Van Tassel grabs the rebound as Jaya Brown in transition, step through, puts it up and in under Abby Brady, and a timeout called by Coach Chad DeBryan, a much needed one for Chad DeBryan after a couple of bad plays out of the inbound. It's a 30-second timeout, so we'll take a full timeout, so we'll take a 1-minute timeout here as well on 1480 KRAE. It's a 13-point lead for East over South, 43-30, 3:08 left on the Pepsi scoreboard as Coach Chad DeBryan has called his third timeout. No timeouts used thus far for Coach Eric Wessling and East.
Yeah, for Cheyenne East there, as I mentioned very quickly, again, a 5-point play in about a matter of 2 seconds there. Thankfully for Cheyenne South, though, to end that at least little run that East was on, got quickly back and put up an easy deuce.
Buell, another 3-ball. It's an air ball, and the rebound will be to Martin, but she stepped out of play. It's Buell, Miller, Martin, Bailey, and Brady on the floor for East. For South, it's Shrove, Mirich, Van Tassel, Leggett, and Martinez. Martinez has 2 players on her, and she almost loses control of it. And a travel is what Coach Wessling wanted called. And when Martinez went to pass, it was a kickball by Bailey. It'll be South basketball still.
But talk about the swarming defense,
right.
So this full court defense by Cheyenne East causing problems for Cheyenne South.
Leggett dribbling with the left hand. A little bit less pressure as she gets it across the timeline. Goes to the left side to Mirich. Down low, Van Tassel with a touch and 3 players on her. Kick out pass to Martinez on the right wing. Martinez looking to go baseline. Is cut off by Bailey. Good defense there by Brooke Bailey. Into the lane goes Martinez. She picks up her dribble. 2 players converge on her. Loose ball. She grabs it back. Now working on Abby Brady. It's up high off the glass, off the left iron. Kick out Leggett, left wing 3. Back iron, no good, and the rebound comes to Martinez. Martinez on the right block, puts up the shot. She's fouled on the way up, but so South showing some big-time hustle on the offensive glass, getting those extra opportunities.
Well, also, too, showing a little bit patient on that side, as that will be the 4th foul called on Cheyenne East.
And that will be the first on Abby Brady. So for South, a couple of blue-collar type plays, gets Martinez to the line to shoot 2. First one for Martinez is too strong as it goes off the right and left iron.
It was
deep.
too strong with a question mark, as we've seen those wacky shots fall through tonight here for Cheyenne South. But for the Lady Fighting Bison, though, at this point in time, on that last offensive opportunity, kind of a rarity of what we saw of seeing them have multiple opportunities, getting those offensive rebounds.
Martinez with the second free throw opportunity, much better result, nothing but net. She has a team-high 9 points. 10 points. She's the first South player in double figures. The only other player in double figures in this game is Kai Buell. She has a 17 points. That matches her season average. Dribble handoff to Buell for East as the score's 43-31 in favor of East. Law pass down low, batted away. Last touch by Mirich as she knocks it out of play. For East, they'll have Erickson inbound it. McEwen on that right block. And Van Tassel, after that first few minutes, has done a pretty good job against McEwen as Leggett comes up with the steal. Here comes South in transition. Kick out pass to Cena. Nice step move around Miller, but then too strong on the bank shot. It's going to be last touched by East, so it'll stay South basketball. And for Cena, one of their leaders, still scoreless. You can see some of that pressure maybe, as that was an easy land, just too strong.
Almost a point where you get in your mind where you are able to produce any offense.
Shrove too strong on the bank shot, and then it's a whistle off the ball. It's going to be Shrove that will pick up the foul. She was trying to go for the offensive rebound, her second.
Yeah, her second, team third on Cheyenne South here in this half.
Have to give the officials some credit too. At least for the most part, it feels like they're just allowing these two teams to play. Both teams play physical as Martinez and Brown will come in. Mirich and Senior will take a seat.
Well, now, Chris, that you mentioned it, now you've cursed us for the remainder of this contest.
Probably I did. So I just want to make this game last as long as ever, kind of like the JV game. As Miller loses the handle, has to go to the way back into the paint in the backcourt, grabs it and gets into the front court now, no issues. Miller looking to go down low. Instead, we'll go to the right wing to Erickson. Jacobson was wide open down below, and Erickson went to give it to her, but Jacobson took off running to try to set a down screen for Kaylee McEwen.
Yeah, a little bit of miscommunication on the floor there. Again, not understanding the player. And right now, it is a South High, at least, opportunity.
Senior gets it back as she checks back into the game. It's a turnover by... Oh, it looked like it was going to be a turnover on South, but the hustle for Martinez, she knocks it out of play off of Erickson. It will stay South basketball. 43-31, 1:18 left on the Pepsi scoreboard here in this third quarter. Not a lot of scoring since that first quarter. There was 29 points scored in that first quarter. It's been pretty quiet for both teams in the second and third quarter. Leggett, spin move, kick out. Martinez on the left wing. High screen from Cena as they try to pick and roll. Instead it goes to Brown on the right wing. Into the lane. Brown blocked by McEwen, her third one tonight, and it was a big block. Buell grabs the loose ball. Now trying to dribble across the timeline. Will throw it over the head of Erickson. It's going to be the 15th turnover on East, and we'll see a 30-second timeout called by Coach Eric Westling. We'll take a 30-second timeout as well on 1480 KRAE. (43-31) with 52, we'll say in the half because I can't really see the score.
I think it's 52.8 as we're high up top here at Story Gym. And again, a lot of rafters, a lot of at least building material keeping this place up in our way, at least visually, to see the scoreboard.
Van Tassel with the basketball for South will hand it off to Leggett, who gets it into the front court. Now Martinez has a free lane to the hoop and lays it in for two. She's got 12. The lead's back to 10 with 40 seconds left in the third quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. Buell across the timeline. Cena playing way up high, making her earn her way down the court. McEwen has it in the paint, faces up, has three players converge on her. Will go to Jacobson, goes back to the left block to McEwen. Kick out left over, jumper for Erickson. She misses the first shot. Now it's down low. Nice pass to Buell, who will rattle it in for two. So for Erickson, she misses her shot, but she follows her shot, gets a rebound and assist.
How about that for Buell, though, staying at home, waiting patiently and getting the easy bucket.
Martinez with a nice shot over the shot block attempt of McEwen as Martinez goes coast to coast. A quick 2 points there. As I said, the offense has been a little bit slow. They heats up in the last 40 seconds as Jacobson's shot is short. And we'll go to the fourth quarter, 45-35 East with the lead. A 1 minute timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Start of the fourth quarter, South down by 10 to East, as East will have their have Buell, Miller, Brady, Erickson, and Blaney out on the floor. South will counter with Shrove, Leggett, Mirich, Senia, and Van Tassel. Miller with the basketball, dribbles it over to the left wing to Erickson. Now they go into the lane, left elbow. Nice backdoor cut by Erickson, but Brady airmails the pass. It's the 16th turnover for the Lady Thunderbirds.
Well, here's an opportunity for Cheyenne South to get this lead under double digits.
It hasn't been that way since really early in that third quarter. East has done a pretty good job to get it back to double digits and keep it there. Senia on the right wing will go into the lane, put up the 10-footer. It rattles in and out. Shrove there for the offensive rebound. She picks up her first 2 points, but for Autumn Shrove, one of the smaller players on the floor, that's her 7th rebound tonight. 45-37, the lead is cut to single digits. Buell with the basketball, dribbles with the left hand, trying to work on Shrove. Jump stops, put up a pass to Brady. Falling down, puts up the shot, and there's going to be a whistle. It almost rolled in for Brady, but for Abby Brady, she'll go to the line to shoot two.
14th foul called on Cheyenne South. Foul's going to be on at least number 3 for Cheyenne South.
That's Madison Mirich, her first, as Nick said fourth team. Brady puts up the first free throw attempt. It goes off the right iron and falls to the floor. So more struggles for East as they're 4 for 10 from the free throw line tonight. Second one for Brady. She's 56% on the season, and she goes 1 for 2 that time at the free throw line. She's got 7 points for East as it leads to 9. Leggett with the basketball. She had a strong first quarter, scored 6 points in that first quarter, hasn't scored since though. Leggett gets into the lane, bounce pass to Van Tassel, over the shot block attempt to Brady. Nothing but net for Riley Van Tassel. She's got 9, lead down to 7. Buell across the timeline, gets around Schroe, cuts into a nice bounce pass to Brady. Again, Brady misses an easy lay-in. She's robbed Buell of 3 assists now as Schroe grabs another rebound. It's her 8th. Mirich with it on the right wing. Van Tassel, right block. She puts up the right-hand floater off the left iron. Erickson grabs the rebound. She's looking to push the tempo. She'll now slow it down at the half court. Hand it off to Buell on the right wing. Deep 3 with the rainbow. Nothing but net for Kai Buell. She hits her 4th three-pointer. She's got 22.
I mean, Kai Buell on that 3-point shot almost hit it from her hometown of Rock Springs. That's how far back she was.
10-point lead again for East as the pass to Mirich is knocked out of play by Blaney, as Brown and Martinez will come in for South, and they need 2 players to come off. They don't know which 2 yet. It's going to be Senia and, well, they still need 1 more. It's going to be Van Tassel. So Mirich and Martinez are going to be your bigs on the floor right now for Cheyenne South. Brown has the basketball. She's at the half court mark. Now we'll dribble it to the perimeter. Has Brady on her and working on the big, tries to dribble and drive it to Buell. Buell had her pass, or had the ball taken away. Leggett with the left wing 3, too strong. Martinez grabs the rebound. She's fouled on the way up. So Martinez will go to the line again. A lot of gritty play for South as they're just not going away for Cheyenne East.
It will be the 5th team foul called on Cheyenne East. It looks like it will be called on Brady, so she'll pick up her 2nd.
So Abby Brady couldn't get the box out on Martinez, instead picks up her 2nd foul. Martinez back at the line to shoot 2, hits the first one.
Give credit where Cheyenne East has struggled from behind the free throw line. Cheyenne South has been able to take advantage. Again, that's what is keeping them at least relatively close here in this contest.
It is. They are 8 for 11 from the free throw line, and for a team that shoots 51% from the free throw line, of something that Coach Chad DeBryan, win or lose, will look at as a positive. Martinez twirls the basketball, puts up the 2nd free throw attempt, and nothing but net. Martinez, for herself, is 5 for 6 tonight, and they're now 9 for 12. That is, I believe, 75% if I do my math right. Buell across the timeline, lead cut back to 8. Gets into the lane, kicks it out to Erickson. Quick pass to McEwen. Now it's a 10-footer on the right side for Blaney. Nothing but net. Nice inside-out move by McEwen, and Blaney with the 2 posts, lead back to 10. Brown with the basketball. At the top of the arc, Erickson will walk out to her and get the count running as they'll dribble weave at the perimeter. Leggett with Miller hounding her on the perimeter. Martinez loses control. Buell comes up with another steal. Buell trying to push the tempo, goes to Blaney. Blaney with the right hand shot, too strong, but she's fouled on the way up. For Buell, she picks up her 4th steal. That is her average on the season.
For Cheyenne South, their 5th team foul.
For Shrove, it's her 3rd.
So another player right now, a little bit of foul difficulty. 5:14 left here in the 4th quarter.
Blaney will go to the line for the first time tonight. Her first free throw is good. She is 54% on the season. She's now 14 of 25 as Shrove will come out and Senia will come back in for South. Blaney with the 11-point lead, a chance to make it 12 is for the most part here in the second half. East has had that double-digit lead as Blaney goes 2 for 2 at the line. Something
We're
that
have a full timeout called by Cheyenne East as well.
Coach Wessling will call a full timeout as they're starting to see the free throw shots go in. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. A full timeout called by Coach Eric Wessling. East with 3 timeouts, South with 2 timeouts. 5:18 left on the Pepsi scoreboard here in the fourth quarter. 12-point lead for East as Jaya Brown got around Erickson but then stepped out of bounds. Careless turnover, the 19th of the night for South.
A careless turnover, but also to credit to the Cheyenne East defense pushing her along that baseline and again causing the turnover.
Couldn't tippy-toe enough. McEwen, Erickson, Blaney, Miller, and Buell on the floor for East. For South, it's Leggett, Van Tassel, Brown, Martinez, and Senior. So both teams with their starting 5 out on the floor as the entry pass to McEwen's knocked out of play by Leggett. It will stay East basketball. Erickson will inbound it as they'll spread out. Will Cheyenne East. You'll see a high-low screen. Nice pass to Blaney. Banks it in for 2. Erickson with that entry pass. Her 4th assist tonight. And for Madison Blaney, she's got 10. And we have a foul called on Erickson.
Had a little bit of collision there between Cheyenne South and Cheyenne East, but thankfully, again, no one injured on that one.
It's a 14-point lead. The largest lead for Cheyenne East has been 15 tonight.
16 foul called on Cheyenne East there.
Brown will hop it across the timeline. Dribbling with the right hand, picked up by Kai Buell. It's got those shorts hiked up. Brown goes into the lane, and it's a block call on Erickson. And we've seen Erickson 3 times now be called for the block, and it's been very close to whether it could be
called either way on her, but either way, she'll pick up her 4th foul. Team 7th called on the East High Lady Thunderbirds. And as the ref is kind of explaining right now to a few players on the East of what happened, or at least why he made it that call.
Well, Coach Chad DeBryan said that they were going to have to be aggressive. They were going to have to get into the driving lanes. They've done a great job doing that here tonight. They'll get to the line and get into the bonus, whereas East hasn't been in the bonus yet. Brown, a couple of dribbles, going with the 1-and-1. For shot will only be 1 as it's short, and Blaney grabs the rebound for East. Headman pass to Miller, who puts up the left-hand shot. Air ball. Blaney hustling down the floor. Gets the rebound. Kick out to McEwen. McEwen banks shot too strong, and the rebound comes to Miller, who tried to save it, and it goes right into the lap of Jaya Brown. Across the timeline, Leggett throws up the shot, and she's fouled on the way up, and there's more positive results with the aggressiveness for South.
And South driving on the inside. 18 foul called on Cheyenne East. It'll be called on Kai Buell, so she'll pick up her 1st.
For Kai, like you said, her 1st. But one thing is for South, they're getting to the line. But at this point, you got to make sure you make all of these as Leggett hits her 1st free throw tonight on her 1st attempt.
And they've been trying here tonight, as you mentioned. Again, what we just saw last there on at least the free throw attempts, kind of a rare miss. They've been pretty much clutch tonight.
Leggett with her 2nd free throw attempt, and she misses it off the left iron. The long rebound comes all the way out to Leggett. An extra opportunity here for South. Down low, Van Tassel with a nice seal. Her shot's too short. McEwen grabs her 5th rebound tonight. Buell with the basketball. We're at 4 minutes and 5 seconds. It's a 13-point lead for East on the Pepsi scoreboard. Buell across the timeline. Gets into the lane. Cena playing good defense, keeping her in front. McEwen has it down low. Just one player on her. She makes a turnaround jumper off the back iron, and then Brown comes up with the rebound. It was a good opportunity for McEwen. She just couldn't finish. For Brown, her 3rd rebound going coast to coast. It's stolen away, and a travel called as McEwen had knocked it out of her hands initially.
Well, again, kind of the big frame for McEwen, just acting like a brick wall where she kind of ran into her, lost the basketball, and just had to regain composure, not realizing her feet was still in motion. Again, the travel call was a simple one. Again, East High basketball here.
Bailey comes in for East, as well as Brady. McEwen and Buell will take a seat. We're under 4 minutes in this 4th quarter. Erickson walks it across the timeline. Senior playing way up high on Erickson, dribbling with the right hand. It's going to be a foul on Felicia Senior. It's going to be her 1st, team 6th. As East will inbound on the opposite side of us, in the corners, they go for the entry pass to Blaney. It's off her hand and goes to Miller. Erickson, nice lob pass to Abby Brady, but she misses the 1st one, puts up the 2nd one, misses that one as well as the rebound comes to Leggett. Abby Brady could have about 15, 16 points tonight if she just makes easy layups, as we have a scramble on the other side, and a timeout is called before a jump ball by Coach Chad DeBryan He will call, he's only got 1:30 left, and he will use a full. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. .318, I believe, left in this fourth quarter. It is a little hard to see the scoreboard. 55-42, East with the lead. Martinez comes in. Her shot rolls in and out, and Blaney tries to save it, goes right to Sina. Leggett left wing 3, rattles in and out, and the rebound comes to Sina. Sina runs into the brick wall of Brady. Martinez grabs the shot. No! It will not count as an and one. They'll say the foul happened on the floor, and Abby Erickson just fouled out. It's going to be her 5th.
Team's 9th on Cheyenne East. And again, that kind of stings a little bit for Cheyenne South, where it looked like it was in the process of shooting and that fell through, and that could have been 2 points and a potential and one. But instead, again, right now, we got at least the front end shot.
Well, could have very well made it to where it was just a 10-point game.
Yeah.
At best, they can cut it to 11 as I believe Willow Martin came in for Erickson, who fouls out. She fouls out with 4 points. 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Martinez hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Martinez, strong free throw shooter, at least in the times that we've seen South this season. This is our 3rd time seeing South. Martinez has done a good job of the charity stripe. Martinez twirls the basketball, puts up the right-hand free throw, and that one is good as well. She's 7 for 8 tonight. As a team, they're 12 of 18.
And I think for Coach Chad DeBryan, that is one positive that you take home for your Lady Fight Bison of what they did tonight from the free throw line.
Buell with the basketball, double dribble. She put both hands on it. That's the 21st turnover. How about this, Nick? 42 turnovers between both teams tonight.
And we're pretty much well past the midway point of this season.
11-point lead for East. South with the basketball, though, has a chance to cut it to double digits as we're just around 2:45 left in this fourth quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. Martinez gets in the lane, almost taken away by Martin, but another foul on East. It's Willow Martin picking up her 2nd, and now South will be in the double bonus the rest of the way. And for a team that's been doing well at the free throw line, they'll get more free throws coming.
For Cheyenne South for the remainder of 2:43 here in this contest. Again, as you mentioned, double bonus time.
Martinez, her 1st of 2, nothing but nets.
And again, this is what you need for Lady Fighting Bison to get back into this contest. These are very crucial.
For Callista, she's now got 19 points. Strong game for the sophomore for the Lady Fighting Bison. She gets set for her 2nd free throw attempt, and that one's nothing but net. She's got a pure stroke from that free throw line. She's got 20. The lead is now back to 11 for East. Or sorry, yeah,
it'd be down to 9.
Single digit. Miller goes down low to Blaney, has the smaller Brown on her, but her shot is missed. Had the easy lane with the left hand. Unfortunate for Blaney, East will retain possession. As Blaney, we've seen Brady and Blaney both miss some easy free throws, as well as Martinez, or as well as McEwen. As Martinez knocks it off the leg of Martin as she goes for the steal, it will be South basketball. As we talked about Callista Martinez, really filling up the box score, 7 rebounds. That's now her 7th steal tonight to go with her 20 points.
And she's got to be certainly the player of the game for the at least Cheyenne South Lady Fight Bison for Chad DeBryan squad.
Martinez has it, goes to Leggett. Leggett working on Brady, puts up the right-hand floater. It's too strong. There is Van Tassel for the rebound, and one! Riley Van Tassel with the offensive rebound, just her 4th rebound tonight, and she has a chance to cut this lead to 6 as McEwen will come in for Brady.
And we have a ball game on our hands, folks. 2:16 remaining here. Again, as Cheyenne South mounting a potential comeback against the number 2 Lady Thunderbirds of Cheyenne East.
For Abby Brady, she'll come to the bench. She picked up her 3rd foul just then, as Van Tassel is at the line to shoot an and 1 opportunity. She's 1 for 2 on the night. Now 2 for 3 as she hits the 3 points the hard way. It's a 6-point lead for East. We're at 2:10 left in the 4th quarter. Miller across the timeline goes to Buell on the right wing. East needs a good offensive possession here. Into the lane, driving kick to McEwen. Right-hand shot, banks it in for 2. Big shot for Coach Eric Wessling and the East Lady Thunderbirds, and he calls a full timeout. 1 minute timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. East with the 8-point lead over South. It's been as high as 15 here in this quarter. South just not going away, Nick, with 2 minutes left.
They are being a pesky bunch out there for the Lady Thunderbirds right now, but credit to Cheyenne South. They're trying to make an effort of it. They're trying to get back into this contest, trying to look for their first lead of the night.
Buell, Bailey, Miller, Blaney, Buell, Bailey, Blaney, McEwen and Miller out on the floor. Abby Erickson has fouled out for East. She's on the bench. South has their starting 5 on the floor. Martinez, Brown, Van Tassel, Senior, and Leggett. Martinez driving baseline, goes to the left corner for 3 for Leggett. It's off the back iron. Sina grabs the offensive rebound for South, and she's fouled by Kai Buell.
Yeah, Kai Buell, she'll pick up her 2nd.
For Feliza Sina, she hasn't scored a point tonight. She does have 3 rebounds, but will have 2 opportunities at the free throw line where she's just 38% on the season. But as this team has been able to do a lot of tonight, they've been able to hit from the free throw line. And unfortunately for Sina, she misses her first. They are 15 for 21 tonight from the free throw line.
For Sina on that kind of shot right there, almost looked like a line drive.
Yeah, needing a little bit more legs in that shot. Second one on the way. That one is a much better result. She goes 1 for 2 from the line. They're 16 of 22. The lead is 7. Miller with the basketballs. We're at the 1 minute and 30-second mark on the Pepsi scoreboard in the 4th quarter. Miller dribbling with the right hand, goes to the right wing to Brooke Bailey. East will probably look for one good shot. Buell will put it up, but she's fouled on the way up. So Kai Buell gets into the lane and fouled. And for Kai, this is her first time at the line tonight. She's 88% on the season. She leads this team with 35 of 40 on the season.
For Martinez, she'll pick up her 3rd foul.
Buell nothing but nets with that first free throw opportunity as Shrove comes in for Brown.
17th foul called on Cheyenne South.
So both teams will be shooting free throws the rest of the way. Buell, 2nd shot. That one didn't even make the net move as it just hit the back iron and came down. She goes 2 for 2. For East, they're now 9 of 15, a little bit better. They're shooting the free throw well here in this 4th quarter. Senior with the basketball, the lead back to 9 for Cheyenne East. Martinez going baseline, and Blaney's going to be called for the block, and that may have been a little bit of a touch foul. But for Blaney, she picks up her 4th.
Yeah, as you mentioned again, her 4th foul.
4th foul, and that's going to send Martinez to the line. her 11th and 12th free throw opportunity coming. She's 9 for 10 tonight. She does have a team high 20, make that 21 as she hits the front end of her 2 shots. Lead back to 8 with 1:06 left in the 4th quarter. This one is not over yet here at the historic Story Gymnasium. Martinez, second free throw shot. That climbs in through the front iron. She's 11 of 12 from the free throw line. They are 18 of 24, and we got a foul by Senia, as I think they're going to try to make you're going to make Miller beat him, because what happened is once Miller got it, Senia went right after her.
Either way, 18th foul on Cheyenne South. Again, it's essentially for the Lady Fighting Bison. They're going to try and make East earn, as they've had difficulty from behind the free throw line. They're going to make them essentially try to earn it.
Right, and Sydney Miller, who's just 2 for 5 tonight from the free throw line, puts up the front end, rattles in and out. Kaylee McEwen grabs the rebound for East, though. That's the last thing you can do if you're going to try to, as Kaylee McEwen banks it in, if you're going to play the free throw game and try to foul them, extend the game, you got to get the defensive boards. Martinez with the basketball, spin move in the left elbow, nice step through, and Blaney just fouled out. She tried to block the shot of Martinez. She'll go to the line and shoot 2. So Blaney will foul out, and for Madison Blaney, she will end with 10 points and 6 rebounds.
Get more opportunities for Cheyenne South to get back into this contest. Well, still plenty of time left, 41 seconds on that clock.
As well as they've been in this 4th quarter, as Willow Martin will come in for East, as well as they've done on offense in this 4th quarter, the defense has let them down because they're going bucket for bucket, which you can't do right now. Martinez 11 for 12 from the free throw line. Make it 12 of 13 as she hits the first one. They are now 19 of 25 tonight from the free throw line. For East, they've only attempted 16 free throws, so you see the aggressiveness working for South tonight, keeping them in the game for the most part. Martinez goes 2 for 2, and for Callista Martinez, she has ties a game high with 24, as we'll get a timeout called by Coach Eric Wessling, and it's going to be a 30-second timeout, so we'll take a quick one as well, a 30-second timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. A 7-point lead for East. They had it as much as 15, Nick, but we said it once, I'll say it again, this pesky South team will not go away so easy tonight.
Give credit to Chad DeBryan and his team, the Lady Fighting Bison. It was something that I said at halftime, and I'll say it again. South is not afraid of that number 2 in front of Cheyenne East.
They aren't, and they're not backing away, and Senia will foul Kai Buell, and that's probably the last person you want to foul if you're South. You want to try to deny her the ball altogether, but the last thing you want her to do is go to the free throw line. The 88% free throw shooter will go to shoot 1-and-1, and for Senia, she picks up her 3rd foul, team 9th.
So again, at least for Cheyenne South here, Cheyenne East will only be shooting at least the front end.
Buell, just 1 dribble, puts up the first free throw attempt, and once again knocks it in. She's 3 for 3 tonight. As a team, they're 10 of 17 with 1 more free throw coming. Second one, Buell, nothing but net. Is starting to see why Kai Buell is one of the better scorers in the state. Pure from the free throw line. Brown across the timeline as the lead is back up to 9. Brown is in the baseline, now dribbles it out, goes to Senia with Martin up top on her. Right elbow jumper for Senia, rolls in. She hits her first shot from the field tonight. She's got 3 points, and Senia will foul Buell again as South gets the bucket, but they don't find Kai Buell. When you score, you have to find the best free throw shooter, and they don't, and that's going to send Kai to the line where she is 4 for 4 tonight, and now she gets to shoot 2.
As that will be the 10th team foul called on Cheyenne South.
Senia picks up her 4th. Buell's first of 2. Rolls in through the back iron. She's now 5 for 5 from the charity stripe, and it's as a team that started out 2 for 7 from the free throw line. They're now 11 of 19 with the 20th free throw coming, and make that 12 of 20 as Kai hits both. She has a game high 28. Believe that may be a season high for Kai tonight. Martinez with the basketball for South as South is down 9. Martinez puts up the right-hand floater from the block, lays it in, and a timeout called by Coach Chad DeBryan with 17.5 seconds left. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. South once again closes it within 7 in the last about 2 minutes, Nick. They've gotten it to 7, but they haven't been able to get the stop, and big reason why is they keep fouling the wrong person in Kai Buell.
It certainly is that issue right now. It is Cheyenne East basketball. We'll see what South does.
Well, they give it right to Kai Buell as they have Coach Westling draws up a great play out of the full court pressure from South, and for Senia, she picks up her 5th foul. So she is done. She'll finish with 3 points, 3 rebounds, and a steal tonight. As Jaya Brown will check back in for South, and Kai, who's 6 for 6 in the quarter from the free throw line, will go and shoot 2 more. We talked about how many more free throw attempts South has had. Well, now East is starting to catch up, and they're cashing in with their best player at the line.
Absolutely, and they're taking advantage of those free throw shots. Again, extending out this lead where now it's up to 8 once again for Cheyenne East. We're in clutch moments where they needed these points. They're getting them, and again, they're getting it from their star player of Kai Buell right now.
Kai is a perfect 7 for 7. Here comes her 8th free throw attempt, puts it up, and nothing but net. And she started walking away right when she put it up. She knew it, and she's feeling it from the free throw line. 18 seconds left in the 4th quarter, 9-point lead for for East. Jaya Brown with the basketball goes to Martinez. Step back 3 by Martinez. Back iron rebound comes to Bailey, and they're going to foul Brooke Bailey. Will Adam Shrove, so that will be 4th on Shrove, and Bailey will go to line to shoot.
And that's going to wrap up this contest with a few seconds remaining here in the 4th as Cheyenne East, number 2 team in Class 4A, they're going to move to 14-1 overall, 2-0 in at least conference play. For Cheyenne South, they're going to fall to 5-7 overall, and they will be 0-2 in conference.
Bailey puts up the first. It's short. Bailey, just a 44% free throw shooter, now 11 of 26 on the season.
And the key thing for this contest as well, too, is Cheyenne East got out hot. They started early with a 7-0 run, and they did not relinquish the lead at once this entire contest.
Bailey rolls in the second one as the seconds wind down, and Martinez can't get a shot off, and that will be it. It's a 10-point victory for East, 68-58 is our final. And for Cheyenne East, not pretty, Nick, but they get the job done nonetheless.
They certainly do get the job done. Again, a 10-point victory. I think Coach Eric Wessing will certainly take that after, again, kind of a back-and-forth action between these two. Again, also to give credit to Cheyenne South. They gave it their all. They tried to upset this number 2 team, but it wasn't enough to take down the East High Lady Thunderbirds. So, again, a game that was early, at least dominated by Cheyenne East. They did not relinquish the lead at once in this entire contest. It was a full dominant effort by the Lady Thunderbirds. And again, as they move to 14-1 overall, 2-0 in conference, Cheyenne South will fall to 5-7 overall, 0-2 in conference play.
We'll take a 2-minute timeout. I'm going to try to hustle up and get some starters for our boys game. We'll also take you through the stats, at least with individual point totals from our ladies game. Again, final 68-58. East with the victory over South. The 2-minute timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Story Gym. We're in this opening contest between Cheyenne South and Cheyenne East. It was in favor of the Lady Thunderbirds as they defeat the Lady Fightin Bison of Cheyenne South by a final score of 68-58. Looking at least other scores around Class 4A, Cheyenne Central, last information that we have over from Laramie, that the Central High Lady Indians were up at half 18-12 as they're taking on the Laramie Lady Plainsmen there in Laramie, Wyoming. Also, too, do want to remind folks, coming up tomorrow on 1480 KRAE, we will have LCCC action as we will be back at the rack, as it'll be double dip there for LCCC men and women action as the Sheridan Lady Generals and Generals will be in town. 2 o'clock tip off with the women and 4 o'clock with the men here on 1480 KRAE. Also, too, do want to remind folks regarding other action here in the state for the Cheyenne Stampede. They are up in Casper, Wyoming. They are taking on the Casper Bobcats on a 3-game series up there. That contest underway up there in Casper, Wyoming, as my play-by-play partner Chris Polton is back. We'll give him a chance to calculate stats, as I will thank our fine sports sponsors here on 1480 KRAE. Again, without them, we would not be able to bring you high school football, basketball, and LCCC basketball here on your airwaves, and also, too, on the visual side on Periscope and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel. I'd like to thank Baskin Robbins, Cheyenne State Bank, Merritt Plumbing and Heating, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Gill Window Company. Also, too, I'd like to thank Gill Window Company, Best Western Plus, Frontier Inn, Little Philly, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, Platte Valley Bank, Taco John's, Mars Plumbing and Heating, First Tier Bank, Big Apple Bagels, the Cheyenne Stampede, Pepsi of Cheyenne, Medicap Pharmacy, Key of Cheyenne, Lennox Auto Body, the Bread Basket Bakery, First Education Federal Credit Union, Fat Boy Star and Auto, B&B Appliance and TV, Capital Lumber Company, Holiday Motors, MHP, and the United States Air Force Recruiting Service. We're going to take a timeout and get back with at least the post-game stats here on 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back inside Historic Story Gymnasium as we had a
little technical difficulty. Again, not sure if it's our phone lines here at Story Gym or back at the station there at KRAE Studios, but and do apologize as we dropped our signal there for a tiny bit, but we are back on. And Chris is all ready for the post-game stats of the girls contest here. Here's Chris.
And for East, a very high-scoring fourth quarter, 49 points scored in that fourth quarter. So you're going to see some high totals. Callista Martinez for South, season high, 26 points for her, 12 points for Van Tassel, 7 points for Leggett, 5 for Jaya Brown, 3 apiece for Senia and Damas, and 2 for Autumn Shrove. For East, they were led by Kai Buell and her season high, 30 points tonight. They had 10 points from Madison Blaney, 8 points from Sydney Miller, another 7 points for Abby Brady. Erickson chipped in with 4. Kaylee McEwen, probably one of her better nights offensively than she's had all season. 8 points for her, 1 point for Brooke Bailey. And for East, again, it's ugly, but at the end of the day, you'll take it.
A win's a win, essentially. And again, for Coach Eric Wesleyan, he will certainly take that for Cheyenne South and Coach Chad DeBryan. I think, again, it was a double-digit loss, but I think the score does not reflect of how well the Lady Fighting Bison at least tried to compete with the East High Lady Thunderbirds. So, if anything, for Coach Chad DeBryan and his squad, they got to hang their hats on that they played pretty well with the number 2 team in the state. They gave them their all here tonight at Story Gym. 19
of 26 from the free throw line, well above their season average of 51% from the free throw line. That's a big positive. The fact, too, really, the thing that got them was the first quarter. They came out with that slow start. They lost the first quarter 20-9, and then after that, each quarter, they either won it or they lost by just a couple of points. So they really, for 3 quarters of the game, they played with Cheyenne East, the number 2 team in 4A.
Absolutely. He gave them their all, and again, something to at least hang their heads high of what they did. But unfortunately, again, for Cheyenne South, they'll move to 5-7 overall. Cheyenne East is going to be victorious and move to 14-1 overall.
We'll take a quick 1-minute timeout. We'll get you the starters for the boys game as they're getting warmed up here at the historic Story Gymnasium. A 1-minute timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back to high school basketball here on 1480 KRAE. Let's take you through the starters for head coach Rusty Horsley and the 11-1 Thunderbirds of East High. They're 1-0 in conference. They beat Laramie 70-41 on Wednesday. Their starters will be junior forward number 2 Xavier McCord, 9.5 points, 5.5 rebounds. Senior guard number 5 Tanner Muchmore, 10.5 points, 5 assists per game. Junior number 11 Demetrius McCord, 11 points, 3 rebounds a game. Then it's the leading scorer for East, senior number 22 Eric Oliver, 20.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, and then a senior center, number 55, Onyx Jackson, 4 points, 2 rebounds per game. We'll take another timeout, our final timeout, before we get set with the starters for South and our tip-off for the boys game between South and East. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside historic Story Gymnasium as now we get set for the national anthem. So we'll take another quick break here on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside Story Gymnasium as the starters for East are being announced. And you can see Coach Bailey giving everybody a nice pat on the back. And, of course, Jeff Bailey, the first-year head coach for South, coaching against his former team. Here is his starting lineup. It'll be number 4, Caleb Phillips, leading scorer, 11 points, 11.5 points, 6 rebounds a game. Leandre Ray, a freshman, number 12, 3 points, 1.5 rebounds. Cameron Bird, 11 points, 4 rebounds, number 23, a junior guard. Then it's sophomore, number 32, Kate Burns, 5 points, 3 rebounds a game. And then it's their big man, a junior, number 42, Hunter Scott, 4 points, 4 rebounds a game. For South, 47.5 points per game. 66 is what they're giving up to their opponents. 34% field goal percentage, 26 from 3, 52% from the free throw line. We've got, I guess, a special video or something going on.
We got something on the board here, yeah. The video board here at Story Gym, but we can't see it due to, again, a few Raptor, at least, entities here as we're high atop in the press box here at Story Gym. But for Cheyenne South, as they come into this contest, I do believe 2-8 overall. Excuse me, actually 2-9 overall. Something I said for at least the ladies' game, for at least the Lady Fightin Bison, I'll say for the Fightin Bison as well too. They need to play, not even pretty much. They need to play. Perfect ball.
Perfect, yeah.
Perfect ball. Again, it has to be flawless, no turnovers. They got to hit their shots. They got to be crisp and clean on the offensive, defensive side to beat this phenomenal East High outfit. Again, number 2 ranked in Class 4A as well too, like their lady counterparts. Again, the East High Thunderbirds as well are ranked number 2 as they are 11-1 overall, 1-0 in conference play. It's going to be a tough one for the Fightin Bison to get this victory, to pull off this upset against the East High Thunderbirds.
For East, they score 72 points per game. They give up 55.5. They shoot 55% from the field, 38% from 3, 71% from the free throw line. You can't really draw it up any more perfect than that when it comes to team stats for Cheyenne East. They did beat Laramie 70-41. They're on a 6-game winning streak, whereas for South, trending in the opposite way, they're 5 of 6. They did lose to Central 61-45.
And the last victory that Cheyenne South had was the game that we had there at least Cheyenne South, a victory over the Riverton Wolverines. So it's been a while. That was back in the Taco John's invite. So it's been quite some time since Cheyenne South has at least seen a victory so far.
East will be in their road dark jerseys with the blue numbers. South in their home whites with the black numbers, gold trim. South going right to left on your computer screen radio dial. It's Burns and Xavier McCord in the center to tip it off. We're underway, and South will start with the possession. Phillips will have the basketball as he walks it across the timeline. Coach Rusty Horsley, former women's coach, used to coach with Coach Bailey as both coaches were varsity coaches at East last year. Bailey in his first game back, or his first game against his former team, as you'll see a turnover to start the matchup for South. The 3-ball for Xavier. It's off the mark. Rebound will come to his brother Demetrius, who will lay it in with the left hand for an easy 2. And we got ourselves a big crowd now as we saw it sorely fill up during the girls' game.
A good crowd on here for representing both East and South.
Last touch by Oliver is Burns and Oliver collide together. You can see Oliver doing a little bit of talking for Cheyenne East. No, and they're going to say it was last touch by South, so it'll be another turnover, the second one for South.
Again, things getting a little chippy right now between both teams here.
Demetrius with the right-hand dribble is going to be fouled by Cameron Bird on the hand check, his first team first. So much more will inbound and underneath, 2-0 very early in this first quarter. Much more gets it into Jackson. It's an offensive foul as Jackson will be called for the push-off, his first team first.
So we're in turnover there by the East High Thunderbirds.
Burns will inbound it East in a full court pressure. Very similar full court pressure as it's a quick turnover. Down low, much more from the right block, lays it in. McCord grabbed the steal, the assist, and much more grabs the 2. It's 4-0. This full court pressure, as I was saying, very similar to the girls' full court pressure. Bird across the timeline, nice pass to Burns. It goes off his face, turnaround jumper, lays it in for 2. It's 4-2 now in favor of East.
And good to see Cheyenne South at least get on the offensive side, finally put points on the board.
Demetrius with the basketball on the left wing up high. Bird out on him. Here's Oliver's first touch on the offensive side. Lob pass to Oliver, or to McCord, lays it in, or slams it in for 2. We've seen that alley-oop against Rock Springs. They show it off here again, and another turnover as Burns throws it over the head of Phillips. It's the 4th turnover for South, as they may be a little rattled, and you're going to get a quick timeout by Coach Bailey for South. It's going to be a 30-second timeout. We'll take a quick one as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE.
Well, Chris, here at Story Gym, it's a neutral court, but it's supposed to be at least South as the home team. But it feels right now that we're live in the Thunderdome as fans got very excited, especially for that slam dunk we just saw.
Yeah, another nice alley-oop between Oliver and Xavier McCord. Jackson has the basketball, spin move around Hunter Scott, puts up the right-hand shot. He's fouled and goes to the floor. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. For Scott, he'll pick up his first team's 2nd. Jackson, a good free throw shooter, 9 of 11 on the season. That's 82%.
He rarely goes to the line, but again, he's a clutch for at least being a big man for the East High Thunderbirds.
Big body for Coach Rusty Horsley and the Thunderbirds.
Kind of similar to what we saw with the ladies with Kaylee McEwen.
Jackson gets the first one to roll in.
And again, he'll use that body. He will definitely box out this South High team.
7-2 our score, a minute and a half into this first quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. In our boys game, Jackson misses the second one short. Hunter Scott grabs the rebound for South. Here comes Leandre Ray working on Muchmore. Gets across the timeline, gets around Muchmore, lays it in with the right hand. Good aggressive take by Leandre Ray. 7-4 the score. Oliver with the basketball. Has it almost taken away by Ray. Goes to McCord, now gets it back on the right wing. Looking for someone to come set a screen for him. We'll go to Jackson just inside the perimeter. Tries to go crossover. Scott loses control. Burns will throw it up to Bird, puts his head down. The pass goes underneath the legs. Burns dives to the floor, grabs it. Now Jackson steals it away. Jackson with his first steal tonight, the 5th turnover for South. Muchmore, lob pass to Oliver, lays it in with the left hand. Muchmore with the assist. Oliver with his first 2 points tonight. Bird goes in the lane, crossover, double teamed. Kick out, Scott, extra pass to Ray, straightaway 3 for Leandre Ray is an air ball. McCord grabs the rebound. Xavier McCord grabs the rebound for East. Demetrius, he'll put up a 3. It's going to be off the glass and roll in. I don't know if he called bank, but he's got 5 points, and it's an 8-point lead for East.
As it feels like it's starting to get out of hand for the Fightin Bison here early.
Leandre Ray stops at the just into the front court. Bird with it, step back over Oliver. Oliver may have tipped it. Jackson saves it and hands it off to McCord. McCord, lob pass is tipped away by Phillips. It will stay East basketball. So Oliver picks up the block. Jackson picks up his first rebound tonight, as we'll see KRAE Wright come in for Cameron Bird.
And this is the theme of both, at least for both South and East, is they are high-powered offenses, both teams that like to move up and down the court very quickly. And seeing that so far here early in the first.
Miller checks in for Jackson. Miller stops at the left elbow. Will kick it out to Oliver. He'll put up the left wing 3. It's short, and the rebound comes to Ray for South. KRAE Wright dribbling with the right hand. Nobody stops him. He throws up the wild shot. It's too strong. Miller grabs the rebound for East. Nice pass. Good running the floor between McCord and Muchmore. Muchmore his 4 points. McCord picks up his second assist. As for South, they're not getting back quick enough on the in transition.
It's a 10-point lead for the Thunderbirds here.
Ray with the basketball, goes between the legs now. Burns has it on the right wing. McCord up high, trying to go right to the baseline. His pass is stolen away. Miller comes up with a steal as the pass was partially blocked by East. Miller stops, kicks out, straightaway 3. Make it in and out as Phillips grabs the rebound, and that was a rare miss.
And that was a wide open look for Eric Oliver.
Yeah, Phillips crosses over McCord, but then throws it into the feet of the East defender, and on the other end, Xavier McCord lays it in for 2. That is the 7th turnover for South.
Yeah, sloppy play here so far early into this contest. It's starting to hurt Cheyenne South.
16-4 the lead for East, 12 the largest of the night. Nice backdoor cut by Leandre Ray, can't grab the ball, and he will step out of bounds as he tries to regain possession. As we'll see Graydon Buell, for at least our first time, we'll get a chance to see Graydon Buell coming off the ankle injury from football. This is his 5th game, though, this season.
And again, good to see that he is back and healthy for Cheyenne East.
Xavier and much more come out as Jake Rails also checked in for East. Jaden Cummings and Mari Alexander for South check into the game, as well as Cameron Bird, so quite a few substitutions. Buell long 2, rolls in for Graydon Buell. He hits his first shot tonight. He's a good shooter, just like his older sister, Kai Buell. Graydon, just a sophomore, sister, a junior. Bird, dribble handoff with right at the top. Gets a high screen from Alexander, looking to roll, but no pass given to him. Bird dribbles with the left hand, gets into the lane, stops at the elbow, goes down low to Alexander, puts up the double pump shot. He's fouled on the way up.
So second team foul called on Cheyenne East.
And it's going to be on...
It's going to be on Eric Oliver.
His first. And
as Eric Oliver not too happy with that call.
We saw Mari Alexander get his first real playing time against Riverton. He did a great job coming off the bench and giving Coach Bailey some minutes and earning a lot of minutes moving forward. It's 18-4 the score, but Alexander misses the first of his 2 free throws.
And the score will stay the same between these two.
Oliver and Demetrius come out. Xavier and Aiden Colgan come in for East. So the only starter on the floor for East is Xavier McCord. For South, their only starter on the floor is starters on the floor is Bird and Phillips. Alexander's second free throw. That one's a better result. He goes 1 for 2 from the free throw line and really stops this 7-0 run by Cheyenne East. 18-15 the score. Allmiller has it on the left wing. We'll get into the lane working on Bird. Spin move, bank shot off the left iron. Jaden Cummings grabs the rebound for South. Cummings will walk it across the timeline himself, call out the offensive play. They want a 5 out. As Cummings will dribble with the right hand, high screen from Alexander. Here comes Phillips, a couple of dribbles between the legs and then he loses control. Jake Rell grabs it. Here comes Xavier McCord. He's fouled by Phillips, and McCord did not like the foul as he stares down Phillips. And it's a good foul by Phillips, making McCord earn the 2 shots by going to the free throw line.
Understand of McCord's frustration. It seemed like a little aggressive of the foul. It will be third called on Cheyenne South.
They're going to call it a flagrant foul, so McCord will get 2 free throws and the basketball.
And again, from my angle of looking at it, it looked like it was a little aggressive by Caleb Phillips. So, again, that's what they will call it, as a flagrant. His first, again, team's third on Cheyenne South.
McCord just a 64% free throw shooter, and he misses the first. So for the boys, just like the girls for East, struggling to start from the free throw line. Xavier, second free throw opportunity. That one rattles in and out. He goes 0 for 2. Maybe the fact that he's the only one there on the island kind of got to him a little bit.
Well, and also, too, shooting that in front of the kind of student section for Cheyenne South here at Story Gym. Maybe got a little into his mind over there.
18-5 the score in favor of East with 2:34 on the Pepsi scoreboard. Rail gets the inbound from the left wing, fakes the 3, goes to Graydon Buell in the left corner as you hear both student sections going at it now with each other. Allmiller.
We're going to have a foul.
We'll have, I think, a 3-second violation on Aiden Colgan. So it's a turnover. The second turnover for East tonight. As Eric Oliver will check back in for the Thunderbirds. And we got the horn going off like crazy right now. As they keep going with the horn.
They're
trying to get the officials.
They're having a little too much fun right now. As, again, referee trying to at least talk with the score table, saying, hey, I think he's off of it.
Right. Well, I think what happened was they thought they were calling a foul on Colgan, and he's saying, no, I was just letting them know who was called for the 3-second.
Yeah.
As Rail comes out, much more comes back in. Just to reset it, Xavier, Eric Oliver, Buell, Colgan, and much more on the floor for East. Bird, Burns, Cummings, Alexander and Wright on the floor for South. Alexander has it on the left block. Kick out Cummings for three on the left side. Nothing but net for Jaden Cummings on the left wing. The first three-ball hit for South tonight. 18-8 the score. 10-point lead for East. Xavier with the basketball with 2:10 on the Pepsi scoreboard in this first quarter. Much more wide open for three on the left side. It's short and rolls in and out. He almost got the shooter's roll. Alexander grabs the rebound for South.
That ball thought about it for quite a while, and it decided to spit on out.
Cummings has the basketball at the top, goes to Wright on the left wing. Buell up high, playing defense on him. Bird fakes the three, goes back to Wright. Wright dribbling with the right hand, goes to Burns at the top. As South working the perimeter. Burns dribbling with the left hand, fakes one way, goes to Bird, fakes the three, now goes into the lane. Kick out right as East is playing really great defense right now as the pass will be knocked out of play by Colgan. And here comes Demetrius in for Colgan. Kari Wright and Alexander come out for South. Ray and Phillips come back in for South as Burns will inbound.
Got a $1:33 remaining here in this first quarter between these two.
18-8 the score in favor of East. East has got out to a quick lead and has been able to hang on to it as it's a travel called by Burns. I think he took 2 steps. It could have been a carry call as well, but it's the 8th turnover in this first quarter for South. Eric Oliver will run the point for East as he walks it across the timeline. Just 2 points for the leading scorer for East, but they have the 18-8 lead. Buell on the right wing, gets into the paint. 5 players converge, kick out left corner three for much more. He falls on the floor, misses the shot. Oliver's there for the offensive putback for 2. He's got 4 now, and his first rebound tonight.
Gotta love the vision by Eric Oliver, reading that basketball the whole way and again finishing it for East High.
Bird going coast to coast, lays it in for 2 and 1. The foul will be on Graydon Buell, his first, team third, as Bird goes coast to coast with his first 2 points tonight. About 58 seconds left in this first quarter.
As I'll say, I'll appreciate that broadcast partner as I cannot see the clock from my
I
angle.
see you going left to right, and I was like, well, I'll just make this easy.
All I can see is the decimal point from my angle up here, high up top in Story Gym.
Bird at the line, 46% on the season, trying for 3 the hard way. Got the jersey untucked as he's been working hard against Eric Oliver, and Bird gets the free throw to fall in. He's got 3 points, the lead's cut to single digits, 22-11. Oliver across the timeline, dribbling with the right hand. Ray picks him up at the top. Freshman v senior for this one as they're in actually a zone, 2-3 zone. Demetrius fakes the shot, puts up the 3. Nothing but lace for Demetrius McCord. Hits his second 3 tonight.
Again, he has wide open spacing out there, and he made him pay.
Cummings going coast to coast. Nice up and under, but can't get the shot to fall. Jackson picks up his second rebound. 23-11 to score as Muchor puts up the right hand shot. He's fouled and 1. Fouled by Leandre Ray, his first, team 4th. As East has been nothing but pedal to the metal on offense so far tonight.
Again, that is nothing new for the Thunderbirds. They are a high-octane, high-powered offense that likes to drive up and down very quickly on the court.
Muchmore gets the and 1 opportunity to go. They're now 2 for 5 from the three for the line for Muchmore. He's got 7 as we have a foul on Demetrius. No, it's going
to be a push foul, I do believe.
No, it's not a foul. It looks like Ray just stepped out of play. So Leandre Ray steps out of play. It's the 9th turnover as we're under 15 seconds in this first quarter. Let's see if East tries to save it for one last one. Nope. It's going to be a nice high-low. Jackson with a nice jump stop, lays it in for 2. A nice assist by Xavier McCord. A nice steal by Demetrius in the remaining seconds. Lays it in for 2. A 30-point first quarter for East. It's 30-11. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Well, a first quarter that really couldn't have gone any better for Coach Rusty Horsley and East, 30-11.
A first quarter that was dominated by the Thunderbirds. Cheyenne South kind of playing very lazy, very lackadaisical, especially there that at least 2-point, at least final play by the Thunderbirds. Again, a half-hearted pass that ended up being a turnover, and again, an easy bucket for the Thunderbirds.
Starting five out on the floor is Demetrius Record, puts up the three ball from the right wing. It's a long off the back iron. Phillips grabs the rebound and he's fouled as he tries to get through the double team of Oliver and McCord. They're going to call that on Eric Oliver. That's his second, team fourth.
Actually, they're not going to call that on Eric Oliver. Instead, they're going to call that on McCord.
Well, that's weird because the official flashed 2-2, but maybe he was just repeating it. As there's another, we talked about it at the break. It's been 4 passes, just out of bounds passes that they didn't touch anybody. There's a 5th one now. It's the 10th turnover for South, and we're barely into the second quarter. He had to play a perfect game against this high-powered East team, and they're not doing that. It's the right corner three for Muchmore is nothing but net.
Well, and that's what happens on the turnover. A 3-point advantage for East.
Cummings with the basketball. Cummings, Burns, Phillips, Bird, and Leandre Ray for South as Burns puts up the 5-footer and rolls it in for Cade Burns. He picks up his 4th point, 33-13, 20-point lead for East. Xavier, kick over to Muchmore. South sticking with the zone. Oliver with the basketball, goes to the right wing. Now it's in the corner. Xavier, jab step, puts up the 3 ball. It's back off the back iron. The long rebound will come out to Xavier after it goes off a few hands. Demetrius has it on the right wing. Onyx wants it on the left side. He gets it there, but McCord wide open for 3 on the left wing. It's short, and the rebound will come to Burns for South. That was 2 3 balls attempted in a row by East that did not fall, and it's a backcourt. Oh, no, they're going to say it's tipped, luckily for South. Phillips picks it up, gets into the front court. Left corner, Burns will put up the 3 over Jackson. It's long, and the rebound comes to Muchmore for Cheyenne East. Lob pass, Oliver, as East pushing the tempo. Oliver reverse lay-in, rolls in for 2, and Oliver's got 6.
Just found a wide open lane for Eric Oliver.
22-point lead, and another turnover out of an inbound play as Phillips steps out of bounds.
Against Giant South right now, just playing half-hearted, just, again, playing lackadaisical at this point, especially with these inbound passes. It's something that you can't afford where Cheyenne East, especially on their offensive zone, they're going to make you pay.
Michael Mascarenas and Hunter Scott come in. Cummings and Ray will check out for South. McCord with the basketball in the left corner. And he's going to be fouled by Cade Burns. There's a little too much contact by the sophomore.
So 15 foul called on Cheyenne South here in this half.
For Burns, he picks up his first, team 5th. Jake Rail, Chance Allmiller, Graydon Buell come in for East. Xavier, Tanner, Muchmore, and Jackson come out for East.
The student section will give a few hands for those players coming back to the east side bench.
Jake Rail will inbound it right in front of the South student section and gets it into Allmiller on the left wing. South sticking with their zone. Bird tries to come up with a steal, almost picked the pocket of Allmiller. Demetrius has it, taken away by Phillips. Here comes Phillips trying to go around Allmiller. He is going to be fouled on the way up. Allmiller looked like he got it clean as he still holds the basketball, but Phillips will go to the line to shoot 2.
15 foul on Cheyenne East.
For Allmiller, his first. Phillips' first time at the line tonight. He's just 44% on the season, 8 of 18. First one on the way, short. 35-13 with 6:08 in the second quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. As both mascots are here, you got the Bison and you got the T-Bird. Wondering if they'll do a little battle at halftime maybe. Phillips, second one rolls in and out, and McCord grabs the rebound.
I don't know if any team wants to do battle on this court. We saw what happened last year.
Right, that's very true. Of course, it was against Central, so it's all right. Oliver into the lane in the teeth of the zone, lays it in for 2. He's only missed 1 shot thus far. He shoots 69% from the field on the season. He's got 8. Bird with the basketball, dribble handoff to Burns. 37-13 the score. Burns puts his head down, kick out. Open for 3 is Bird. It's an air ball. Scott comes up with the loose ball, lays it in with the right hand. So Scott picks up his first 2 points tonight, and it's a 22-point lead, and it's a full timeout called by Coach Jeff Bailey. We'll take a 1-minute timeout here as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. (37-15), 22-point lead for East. The largest has been 24. It's been East from the get, Nick, and they're, unlike the ladies, they're kind of putting their foot on the throat and keeping it there against the South team.
Well, the difference is that they're hitting at least clutch three-point shots, and again, adding to this monstrous lead so far over Cheyenne South. And again, they're not looking behind.
Buell running the point for East. Rayo with the basketball will go over to Demetrius at the top of the arc, looking to get into the lane. Instead, will just hold on to it. Allmiller straight away, fakes the shot, gets into the lane, jump stop, puts up the shot, it's blocked, grabs his own loose ball, hands it off to McCord, lays it in with the left hand for 2. McCord with a game-high 12, the lead back to 24, ties the largest of the night. Bird with the basketball on the left wing, gives it to Alexander. Alexander over to Bird as he'll try to go around Oliver, kicks it over to Mascarenas, and Mascarenas zagged when Bird wanted him to zig.
And what that equates to is another South turnover, another opportunity for Cheyenne East to cash in and put points and extend out this already big lead.
Buell with the basketball for East as he walks it across the timeline, looking over at Coach Rusty Horsley for the play. Now gets into the lane, gets around Mascarenas, puts up the shot. The whistle will be called on the floor.
And it will be a foul called on Cheyenne South, so their 6th foul.
And Eric Oliver will inbound it underneath the basket. For Eric Oliver, he's got 8 points, and you got to think at one point, will he be taken out and given a lot of rest? Because this one is getting out of hand as the 3 balls miss, but the extra opportunity goes to Eric Oliver, who swishes it in for 3. The way he can shoot the ball is just unreal, as it's now a 27-point lead. Phillips puts up a 2. It's an air ball, and Oliver grabs the rebound. Oliver across the timeline, dribble handoff to Allmiller, lays it in with the right hand. And I'll tell you what, Nick, this is poetry in motion on the offensive side for Cheyenne East.
And something that Cheyenne East has been doing throughout at least this season. Again, making it look easy on the offensive zone.
Bird with the basketball, Oliver up top on him. Lead up to 29, largest of the night for East. We're in the second quarter. Phillips goes over to Alexander on the left wing. Alexander crosses over Allmiller, runs into 2 players, and Allmiller goes to the floor. It's going to be last touched by Allmiller as he was out of play.
So at least for Cheyenne South, to still retain that ball on their offensive side.
Caleb Phillips will inbound it as Ray checks back in for South. Mascarenas will take a seat for Coach Jeff Bailey in the Fightin Bison. Phillips, lob pass comes into Bird as East looks to be in a 2-3 zone now. Phillips looking to go down low to Scott as they need to get some ball movement for South just to get the zone moving.
Well, again, a lot of players at least standing around for Cheyenne South as well.
Phillips kick out to Bird, deep 3 from the right wing. It's an air ball, and Scott saves it for South, but knocks it out of play. East will have the basketball. Jackson will come in for Graydon Buell. As Coach Horsley had said, he was trying to ease him in, as obviously when you have an ankle injury, your stamina is not going to be at its best. But I'm sure for Coach Horsley, he loves the fact that he has a second guard he can bring out, or second unit.
And again, don't
guard.
need to put him out there for the full contest, or at least extended him out, again, to re-aggravate that ankle.
Jackson has it on the right block, kicks it over to Xavier. Turnaround jumper for Xavier, rolls in through the front iron. Xavier's got 6.
And it's a 31-point lead for the Thunderbirds.
Again, at the high school level, they go running clock at 40. Phillips with the basketball, dribbling with the left hand between the legs. Xavier up high on him, dribble handoff to Bird. Bird, spin around move, left hand lane is just short, and Jackson grabs his 3rd rebound. Oliver across the timeline goes to Xavier. Down low, Onmiller, back. Well, looked like he was going to go back to Xavier. Now finally gives it to him. Baseball pass to much more on the left wing. Much more down low. Oliver on the left block, working on Phillips. Turnaround jumper from 5, nothing but nets. Eric Oliver, another 2 points. He's got 13 in the contest.
And a highly talented player for Cheyenne East, Eric Oliver, just making that look easy.
Phillips, deep 3 for him is off the back iron, and the rebound will come out to Chance Allmiller for East. And right now you can kind of really you feel a lot of the energy even being sucked out of the gym with the way this game has been going. It's nice give and go, blocked by Bird. He'll grab the loose ball. And a foul on Chance Allmiller. He'll pick up his 2nd, team 6th. But the first quarter, there was a lot of back and forth.
It was a lot of high energy, again, a lot of back and forth. It was also a lot closer than it was at this point in time. But yes, again, Story Gym has been a little bit quiet here for a few short minutes here in the 2nd quarter. And
for Coach Horsley, it looks like he's going to go deep into his bench here pretty soon as Michael Pope stands up. They have much more, the McCord twins, Colgan and Jackson on the floor for East. Cummings, Kari Wright, Hunter Scott, Cade Burns, and Leandre Ray. Burns with the free throw jumper up and in for 2. That was a good shot by Cade Burns. He's got 6 to lead his team.
And that is a massive scoring drought for the Fightin Bison there.
Xavier McCord on the right wing, dribbling towards the baseline. Now will reset and get into the lane, reverse lane, too strong. Rebound comes to Cade Burns, his 2nd rebound tonight. And he'll walk it across the timeline himself. Xavier picks his pocket. Here comes Xavier McCord with the reverse dunk. A steal and 2, and for Jaden Cummings, he just let him go right by him. It is a 33-point lead now for East. Cummings into the paint. Kick out pass to Ray. Right wing 3 for Leandre Ray. It's off the left iron. Birds grabs the offensive rebound, and he's collapsed on by Colgan. And that should send him in line to shoot 1 and 1, I believe, or is that the 17th foul?
Yeah, the 17th foul called on Cheyenne East.
So Colgan picks up his first.
So it should be shooting time right now, as it should be bonus for Cheyenne South, but instead they have him inbounding it.
Jake Rail, Michael Pope, and Alec Clark come in for East, as there's no starters on the floor for the Thunderbirds.
And I think rightfully so. Again, right now with 50 to 17 lead right now for the Eastside Thunderbirds. I think that's very classy by Coach Rusty Horsley. Again, not at least kind of taking the foot off the pedal, so to speak.
At least until the start of the half. You'll probably see the starters play a little bit in the 3rd quarter, the way this has been going, and that may be it for the rest of the night. Burns, front end of the 1-and-1, he knocks that one down. He's 4 for 7 now on the season. And he's got a team high 7 points. 50-18 the score in favor of East, who've come out guns blazing as Burns hits the next one. Nothing but net, or actually not nothing but net, but rolls in for 2. He's got a team high 8. Rail with the basketball, setting up the offense. Goes to Pope. Pope fakes the shot, goes back to Graydon Buell on the right wing. Gets into the lane, spin move, stops at the left elbow, kick out, Rail left wing 3. Off the left iron, and with the rebound is Mascarenas for South. His 2nd rebound tonight. Here's Ray, his ball's blocked and he's out of bounds, and then he touches it. It's going to be a turnover, the 15th turnover for South. It's a 31-point lead with 41 seconds left in this 2nd quarter for the Thunderbirds. Clark with the basketball, fakes the shot, goes over to Pope. He'll put up the right wing 3. Nothing but net for Michael Pope. And the lead now the largest of the night. It's 34. Ray will slow it down. We'll see if South tries to save it for one last attempt here. It's going to be Ray going to the line to shoot 1-and-1 as Clark grabs the foul.
18th foul called on the Thunderbirds for Clark, his first.
And
Because again, it should be shooting time, as the refs now realize that.
Yeah, I was like, well, it was just shooting time last time, so it should be shooting time this time as well. 14.8 seconds left. Or sorry, yeah, no, 19.8. I can't see that top tick mark.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to look for as well, too.
Ray first one is short, and Graydon Buell grabs the rebound for East. 15 seconds on the Pepsi scoreboard here in the second quarter. Rail gets into the lane, kick out to Clark. Graydon with the basketball, gets the screen from Clark, goes into the lane, bounce pass, nice backdoor cut by Rail. Kick out Clark for three. Banked shot, no good. Buell tries to go with the volleyball spike. Couldn't get it to fall in, but that's the end of the half. East with the commanding 53-19 lead. We'll take a 1-minute timeout and have some stats for you in this first half between East and South. A 1-minute timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside historic Story Gymnasium. The Thunderbirds with a 53-19 lead. Nick, it was East from the get-go, just like in the girls' game, except for the only difference is the boys have been able to expand it very quickly.
Again, with a few three-point shots hit by Eric Oliver, by the McCords, by whoever on this Thunderbird team right now. Again, taking advantage of these turnovers where, for the, at least on the girls' side, for the Lady Thunderbirds, they had a little bit of difficulty trying to convert those turnovers into points. But on the guys' side, however, for the Thunderbirds, they have been able to do that so far. And again, with this monstrous lead over the Fightin Bison, again, leading 53-19 here at halftime. Right now, you have stats here, at least again, all calculated and tabulated,
and official, might I add?
Yeah, absolutely official. Again,
well, at least I did all the adding, and it matches what the
adding,
score is.
Subtracting,
right,
and all that fun stuff. Again, getting all that math out of the way.
We'll start with South. Their leading scorer is Cade Burns with 8 points, 3 points apiece for Bird and Cummings, 2 points for Hunter Scott and Leandre Ray. They went 4 of 9 from the free throw line. They had 15 turnovers, 10 of those in that first quarter. For East, I only have East down with 3 turnovers in the first 2 quarters, which explains why they have the lead they do. They only one blemish is they're 2 for 5 from the free throw line. They do have 13 points for Eric Oliver, 12 for Demetrius McCord, 10 for Tanner Muchmore, 8 for Xavier McCord, 3 points for Michael Pope, 3 points for Onyx Jackson, 2 for Chance Miller, 2 for Graydon Buell. And not only are they scoring in bunches, but they're spreading out the scoring as well.
They certainly are. Again, everyone is getting that opportunity. Again, I think Coach Rusty Horsley has that kind of planned out for his team. Again, going against the South High Fightin Bison squad at this point in time. Again, you hate to say it, but this is you got to respect Cheyenne East. They are the #2 team. They are a phenomenal outfit. All 5 of their starters are great, talented players right now, and they're showcasing that. And again, I think the glaring stat before at least getting into the South High stats is for Cheyenne South, the amount of turnovers. Yeah. And again, they're not just travel calls or nothing like that. It's inbound passes that are just kind of being lazy. That where let's be a little bit half-hearted. I think right now Jeff Bailey needs in the locker room right now to fire up his guys and go, hey, we can do this. We need to play crisper. We need to play basketball. Don't let that #2 in front of them. Don't let it be Cheyenne East, that 11-1 record that they have, intimidate you.
Right. Well, and to be honest, South is in a transition period. New coach,
Yeah.
There was a decent amount of turnover between seniors that left, guys that transferred. So at this point, you just want the guys to say, hey, 0-0, let's win the third and fourth quarter. You hate moral victories, but maybe that's something they can use as momentum.
Absolutely.
Going
I think for Cheyenne South, something that we've kind of talked about this season, where, again, sitting right now at 2-9 overall, it is a situation where you need to take those quarter victories. If not, again, try to eliminate have no turnovers in a quarter. It's a situation like that where you need to try and do that. Yeah, as I see you kind of swat down and looking to see at the clock. I think we have plenty of time.
Yeah, we got about 5.5, and then, of course, I about lost my heart jumped into my throat there as one of the cheerleaders about fell from the top of the little pyramid there. So I was like, oh, geez, that's the last thing we need right there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, you know, and then on the other side for Coach Rusty Horsley and for East, you don't want to get complacent. At this point, yes, you're up by a lot, but here's the deal.
You want to take your foot off the pedal.
Two
Absolutely.
quarters to play.
You don't want to embarrass Cheyenne
Right.
South, and I think Rusty Horsley realizes that. You need to take your foot off the pedal just a bit to
Right.
where still come away with the victory, but also to not make this well out of hand.
You run through your offense. Maybe you do a little bit less in transition.
Yes.
But the biggest part is, too, is
No need to hit a three. No
Right.
need to do anything kind of flashy. Again, I think what we saw there in the second quarter by McCord, those kind of flashy dunks,
Right.
no need to do that to kind of spike the ball, so to speak, against Cheyenne South. And I think Rusty Horsley, again, a coach who's been in the ranks, who's well respected across Class 4A, I think he will do that here again. You might see some starters have a few minutes coming out of the halftime, but I would not be surprised that we see a lot of bench players get some at least time and varsity experience here coming up here in the second half for Cheyenne East.
we'll take a 2-minute timeout, and, for Nick and I, we'll get a little bit of rest before we get set for the third quarter. 2-minute timeout as you're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside historic Story Gymnasium as we got kind of cut out in between that halftime, so we want to make sure we do give a shout out to our high school basketball sponsors. Of course, without them, we would not be able to bring you tonight's game or any game this
absolutely. Again, LCCC High School Football and Basketball. We'd like to thank Baskin Robbins, Cheyenne State Bake, Mayor Plumbing and Heating, Chick-fil-A, Cheyenne Auto Repair and Service, Gill Window Company, Best Western Plus Frontier in Little Philly, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service, Platte Valley Bank, Taco John's, Mayor Plumbing and Heating, First Tier Bank, Big Apple Bagels, and the Cheyenne Stampede. Pepsi of Cheyenne, that's sponsoring our Pepsi scoreboard, again in favor of Cheyenne East here at half over Cheyenne South. Medicap Pharmacy, Key of Cheyenne, Lennox Auto Body, the Bread Basket Bakery. Also, too, First Education Federal Credit Union, Fat Boys Tire and Auto. Also, too, B&B Appliance and TV, Capital Lumber Company, Halliday Motors, McGee Herndon Pies LLP, and the United States Air Force Recruiting. Do want to take this opportunity to at least take a 30-second timeout, so we can get set for the third quarter, which is coming up next here on 1480 KRAE.
Historic Story Gymnasium, as we'll take a look around the conference, at least with the lady girls basketball, as all the scores have been reported for 4A. The number 1 Thunder Basin 69-30 winners over Sheridan. Cheyenne Central 45-37 over Laramie. Star Valley, the number 4 team, 61-32 over Jackson. Kelly Walsh and Cody, a defensive barn burner, 26-23. And then Campbell County 63, Natrona 23. As that's the wrap up for the ladies scoreboard as we're underway. Both teams with their starting 5 out on the floor. South will start with the basketball going left to right on your computer screen and your radio dials. Bird gets into the lane. Shot blocked by Oliver, but they're going to call Oliver for the foul. His second team first of the half. Cameron Bird will go to the line where he's 1 for 1 tonight. It's Bird, Ray, Scott, Phillips, and Burns. For South, it's their starting 5. Much more than the McCord twins, Jackson and Oliver. Bird's first free throw attempt is off the back iron and through the net. So he's 2 for 2. Second one for Bird. Hits off the left iron. Birch grabs the offensive rebound, and it goes through a couple of different legs, and it was last touched by East. So say South basketball. So
South's trying to at least get it back, or at least make this a respectable contest. Can at least cash in on this offensive zone.
Phillips with the basketball, goes to Ray on the right wing, right corner. Burns fakes the shot, now driving baseline, driving kick. Hunter Scott with a air ball. Jackson with the pass. Stolen by Bird, and he lays it in for 2. So a 3-0 run to start for South.
He's kind of playing a little lazy, trying to do, at least kind of playing almost half-hearted.
It's going to be East basketball on the miss from Demetrius McCord from the left corner. 53-22 our score. 7:16 we're early in the third quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. 3-ball attempts by McCord again, and this time Phillips looked like he last touched it, but they're going to say it was much more.
It just breezed by him, and at least for Cheyenne South. Again, turnover in their favor.
Well, it looks like 2. They didn't get your memo, Nick, at half, as both shot attempts for East have been 3-ball attempts. Phillips kicks it over to Bird, puts his head down, goes baseline, loses control initially. Now it's kicked over to Scott over the head, and a backcourt violation. It's the 16th turnover for South. Now you're starting to hear the student sections go back and forth a little bit now.
Game, the classic back and forth between the squads.
53-22, Demetrius with the basketball for East. East is led from the get. Law pass to Jackson. Spin move on Scott, puts up the double pump shot. He's fouled. And I believe it's on Hunter Scott. It is his second team first, as Jackson will go to the line where he's 1 for 2 tonight. As a team, they're 2 for 5. The only black mark really in that first half for East, the free throw shooting.
Other than that, it was a pretty much near perfect game for Cheyenne East.
Jackson rolls in the first one. He's got 4.
And again, do want to remind folks that Cheyenne East does have a 32-point lead. Again, 40 points is where we will have a running clock in this contest.
Jackson lays it in for 3. I don't know why South's fan student section saying overrated. They're up 33 as East. I think they're rated just right. Phillips with the basketball. Goes to Bird on the right side. Bird doesn't even dribble. We'll go to the top of the perimeter to Burns. Ray is cut off by much more. He's trying to go around much more, but good defense by Tanner. Leandre Ray, step back now, gets in the lane, puts up the right-hand floater. It's short. Jackson grabs the tough rebound. His 4th one. Lob pass is stolen away, or headman pass is stolen away by Burns. That's the 5th turnover now for East, 2nd in this quarter. Scott with the basketball. Nice pass to Bird. 2 on him. He tries to reverse lay-in. Oliver grabs the rebound for East. McCord with the basketball. He's fouled, but he can't get the finish. He'll go to the line to shoot 2, where Hunter Scott will pick up his 3rd, team's 2nd.
Looks like it may be called on Caleb Phillips. Actually, no, they're not going to call it on him. Actually, they're going to call that on 42.
Hunter Scott, yeah, his 3rd.
His 3rd, team's 2nd on Cheyenne South.
So that will send McCord to the line, where he is 0 for 2 tonight. He had that flagrant foul, and he was the only one at the free throw line. He missed all of them. And there he misses the first one.
Yeah, the free throw woes continue for him.
They're just 4 of 7 tonight. McCord trying to stretch out the kinks in his shooting hand here. 2nd one, that one's a much better shot. He's 1 for 4 now from the free throw line. They're 5 of 9 is East. As a team, they shoot 71%, so under par so far, or I guess above par. As
However you look at it.
Right, Bird with the basketball. Oliver playing defense on him. They go to Burns in the left corner. Phillips, top of the arc. They dribble weave on the perimeter. Leandre Ray pass over to Alexander, lays it in for 2 over Jackson from the right block. 56-24 the score. McCord trying to hustle down the floor. It's Demetrius. It goes up into the air, and he's fouled, I believe, by Alexander, his 1st.
Team's 3rd. Or actually, they're going to call that 2nd on number 40.
So for East, we thought they would maybe try and slow it down a little bit, but like you said, you don't want to get overly complacent and start it over 0-0, because you're going to be playing more light times than not. You'll be playing 4 quarters, or have to play 4 quarters, as much more misses the 3-ball attempt. Leandre Ray trying to run the floor, and the pass from Bird is just out of the hands of Ray. It's another turnover for South. It is their 17th turnover. So for Cameron Bird, was looking for his 2nd assist tonight, but a little bit of butterfingers for Leandre Ray as he'll come out for KRAE Wright. Oliver with the right-hand dribble. Up high on him is Caleb Phillips. Jackson has it on the right wing, just inside the perimeter. Bounce pass is stolen away. It was a lazy pass. Bird will miss the dunk. Yeah, it's not going your way. And instead of laying it in, he instead misses the dunk, and McCord will pick up an easy 2 on the other side. Really, that's how it's been going for South tonight in this boys game, Nick.
It certainly has. Again, missed opportunities. They've had plenty of them for Cheyenne South, but they've not been able to cash in, unlike right there.
Burns has been really the highlights. He's got 10 points leading the team. Xavier McCord in transition, puts up the shot. He's fouled by Alexander. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Team's 4th foul on Cheyenne South.
For Alexander, it'll be his 3rd, as McCord will get some more free throw shooting practice, as Rail and Buell will check in after this first free throw attempt. McCord. Xavier hits it off the left iron.
As you mentioned earlier, and again, I'll talk about it right now for Cheyenne East, the kind of black mark right now, the black eye for this near perfect, at least, game that they're putting on, again, has been the 3-throw woes. It's something that they need to work on, something that could be at least an Achilles heel when we get into regionals and state tournament time with this team.
Very uncharacteristic as well, as McCord misses both. Xavier came in as a 64% free throw shooter. Missing both is something he doesn't do often, as Bird has the basketball, goes to Phillips on the left side. Phillips, few dribbles between the legs, setting up the offense. Burns has it at the top of the arc. Burns dribbling with the left hand, looking for Alexander on the cut. Instead, we'll go to the right wing to KRAE right. Bird on the right wing. Oliver making sure he's on his back pocket. Bird gets into the free throw line, puts up the right hand shot, goes off the left iron a couple of times, and Eric Oliver grabs the rebound, his 4th one tonight. Here comes East in transition. It goes off south and out of play. It'll stay East basketball as we'll see Clark and Rail come in. So for East, they'll have Miller, Muchmore, Buell.
As we're trying to figure out the
technical foul
yeah.
on number 2.
It'll be on McCord.
On Xavier McCord. So for Xavier, it'll be a personal foul. His second, it'll be a team foul as well, team second, as Caleb Phillips will go down and shoot the technical free throw shots.
And again, did not see what happened there, but yeah, again, a tactical foul call. So again, that will give Caleb Phillips shooting time, and also too will give South the ball.
Buell, Clark, Rail, Muchmore, and Oliver on the floor for East, as Phillips is now 0 for 3 from the free throw line, and South isn't shooting very well from the free throw line either. They're 5 of 10 or 4 of 10.
It'd be interesting to see on the video replay there of what happened with the court. Was he jarring with a player or a ref, or what happened on that play?
Phillips hits the second one, as we'll see for the first time Guillermo Milazzo come in, as well as Mascarenas for South. So they have the 2 I just mentioned, Alexander and Wright and Phillips on the floor for South. Much more Clark, Rail, Buell, and Oliver on the floor for East. Inbound pass is almost taken away. Phillips able to do a good job to run down the loose ball. Alexander slips, puts up the right-hand shot, and he traveled before.
Get another careless pass by Cheyenne South and almost turned it into another turnover for the Fightin Bison.
Altmiller will come in for Muchmore. Now the only starter on the floor for East is Eric Oliver. 58-27, 3:43 left in this third quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. It's been all East. And their largest lead has been 38. As Buell gets in a nice drive and dish to Oliver, lays it in for 2. Oliver's got 15. And for Graydon Buell, he picks up his first assist tonight. Showing a little bit of skill that his sister has. We saw his sister do some driving and dishing in the girls' game. Phillips working on Clark. Kick out pass to Alexander. Goes to the left wing to Wright. Wright dribbles with the right hand. Stops at the free throw line. Kick out to Alexander at the top. Buell goes for the steal. Almost got it too. Phillips crossover on Clark. Clark with the hand on the basketball. Now it's down low. Stolen by Oliver as the pass was intercepted from Phillips. Clark in transition, lays it in for 2. Nice pass by Eric Oliver, who gets the steal and an assist there as he starts filling up the box score.
As you can see, Caleb Phillips, at least as he's dribbling the ball, talking to the ref of, hey, why is there a foul call?
Milazzo with the basketball will go to Mascarenas on the left wing. Rail up high, just inside the perimeter, playing defense on him. Two-hand check foul on Rail as he got both hands on the shoulders. We'll see Aiden Colgan come in for East. And Cade Burns for South. I think that for Oliver, yeah, he's going to come out for.
He's going to get at least time on the bench after a good effort for the East Side Thunderbirds.
Wonder if he'll go with the starters one last time in the fourth quarter. He does shake. Coach Horsley shakes Oliver's hand and starts talking to him, probably letting him know that could be it, as they have the 35-point lead. Milazzo at the half-court line is able to save it from going into the backcourt. Bird goes in with the double pump. He's fouled by Jake Rail. And Bird will go to the line to shoot 2. There's 2 minutes, 24 seconds left. 29 seconds left.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's either a 4 or 9 on that.
I'm going to go with a 9 since you had it close to 8
there.
there.
9. Either way, though, Cheyenne East will pick up their 14th foul here in the second half.
Bird hits the first free throw. As for Cameron Bird, he's starting to rack up the points here in this second half.
We always run into some technical issue on a high school game or something that's at least prevented us from doing something.
Right. Nothing but net on the second one. He's 4 for 5 from the free throw line is Cameron Bird. And for Bird, he picks up his 2, 4, 6, 8th point. Clark with the basketball goes to Colgan. Pass is batted away by Phillips and out of play into the stands. East will retain possession as Ray will come in. A 33-point lead for East. As we said, Nick, it's been as high as 38. Of course, we have the running clock at 40.
And again, it's been a 30-point lead for quite some time for Cheyenne East, going back all the way to the second quarter.
Lob pass inside, Rail with the basketball. Goes over to Allmiller on the left wing, down low. Colgan with it on the right block. Pump fake, puts up the shot. He's fouled by, I believe it's going to be Burns.
It'll be
No, it's going to be Mascarenas.
So 15 foul called on Cheyenne South.
That will send Aiden Colgan at the line. He's 1 for 3 from the charity stripe this season.
For Burns, it'll be his first foul.
Colgan with the right-hand shot. Nothing but net from the free throw line. Picks up his first point tonight. And more importantly, that's the 6th free throw hit in 12 opportunities. So they're starting to get a little bit more successful at the free throw line. Colgan's second one. That one is also successful. Colgan has 2 points. 7 of 13 now is East. Across the timeline comes Bird. He has Allmiller on his back pocket. Ray with the basketball on the right wing. Over to Mascarenas at the top. Dribbling with the right hand. Will hand it off to Leandre Ray. Between the legs dribble. Stops at the right elbow. Kick out to Burns. Burns is South trying to find any type of opening. Burns will instead go with the long 2. Clark grabs the rebound and then throws it away. It's a steal for Cameron Bird. And his shot is off the mark, and Colgan grabs the rebound. I was just going to say, Cameron Bird has 3 steals tonight. Averages 2 on the season. Allmiller on the left block, stops his dribble, fakes one way. His shot is blocked and out of play. It will stay East basketball.
And as both teams kind of high-powered offenses, and it seemed like it was a little back and forth here in the third quarter. It's kind of grinded to a halt a bit.
Michael Pope will come in, as well as for the first time tonight, Jason Montoya. His sister, Sid Montoya, on the volleyball team a couple years ago, played over at LCCC as well. Bird will pick up the steal, lob pass to Ray. Ray going coast to coast, lays it in with the right hand. Nice finish for Leandre Ray, as we'll get a timeout by Coach Jeff Bailey. And for Bird, he's got 4 steals now tonight. And I believe we're going to have a full timeout. So we'll take a 1-minute timeout here as well. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. East will have the basketball with 1 minute 17 seconds left here in this third quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard. They have a 33-point lead, 64-31. It's all reserves in the lineup as Montoya puts up the 3 deep from the left wing. It's off the back iron. Allmiller grabs the rebound for East and will lay it in for 2 on the putback. He's got 4, leads up to 35, 66-31. East looking to go wire to wire like they did against Laramie. Ray with the right-hand floater from the right elbow. Allmiller grabs another rebound. It's 4th. Headman pass to Rail, puts up the shot. It goes off the back iron and falls to the floor as Mascarenas will pick up his second team foul. Second personal, 6th team.
Yeah, 6th team foul called on Cheyenne South. So next foul will put Cheyenne East in the bonus for the remainder of the second half.
Jake Rail trying to get his first couple of points tonight as he hits the first of his free throws. As we'll see Alex Soto come in for the first time for South. Soto, if you watch a lot of high school football, one of the main running backs for the Fightin Bison football team. Getting a little chance to show his basketball skills as Rail goes 2 for 2 at the line, and we got a stoppage as we'll have Alec Clark come in for Graydon Buell. 68-31, 37-point lead. The largest has been 38.
And again, as for Coach Rusty Horsley, he's going deep into his reserves, deep on his bench. Again, as this game is well out of hand.
We're under 35 seconds now in the third quarter. Soto with the basketball. Goes over to Burns at the top, looking down low. Instead, will dribble it into the lane, puts up the shot and one for Cade Burns, who continues to impress. This is our first chance we've got a first opportunity we've had to see Burns.
Yeah.
And he's been pretty impressive so far, really the highlight for South tonight.
Again, a good talent for Coach Jeff Bailey, as that will be the 15th foul called on Cheyenne East.
And the foul was called on Miller, his third, as Burns will rattle in the and one opportunity. He's also a perfect 3 for 3 from the free throw line. He's got 13. Miller open for 3, fakes the shot, gets into the lane, lays it in with the right hand for Miller, showing off some athleticism. Right there to Chance Miller as the lead's back to 35. Bird with the basketball, goes to Soto on the right side, gets into the lane, stops, will go to Burns. Burns on the right block, puts up the shot, lays it in for 2 and 1 again. I think Miller just picked up his 4th foul as well. He did. And for Burns, another 3-point opportunity.
As I got the scoreboard here a little issued right now, as again for Cheyenne East, they have them at 71 points. I thought I had them at 70 points.
Well, maybe they're trying to get it over with.
I think they're trying to hurry things up. 16th foul called on Cheyenne East.
And it is the 4th on Miller as they try to get.
As I was right, they did have 70 points.
And it was the East coach that came over and said something as Burns misses the and one opportunity. Miller tried a quick pass with about 1 second left. So South will have the basketball. Hunter Scott will inbound it. 70-36, 34-point lead. We're in the final seconds of this third quarter, and that is the final horn of our third quarter. We'll go to the fourth quarter. East 70, South 36. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside a less full historic Story Gymnasium as the fans start heading towards their.
Yeah, they're heading towards the exits at this point again, as this is well out of hand in favor of Cheyenne East. But something that we talked about at halftime, or at least I did with you, Chris, is Cheyenne South is something that you pointed out won that quarter, at least in the points wise. So again, those small victories for at least Coach Jeff Bailey.
Jackson misses the shot. Muchmore grabs the offensive rebound. It's out of play and a last touch by East. East has all their starters on the floor except for Eric Oliver. It's Graydon Buell that's in with the McCord twins, Jackson and Muchmore. Muchmore gets it in the left corner. Playing defense on him is Bird. Soto up top on McCord. Goes to McCord. Now Graydon Buell will put up the three from the left corner. It's off the front iron. Phillips grabs the rebound for Cheyenne South. South will have Phillips, Burns, Scott, Bird, and Alex Soto. Burns with the basketball. Dribbles between the legs and then goes to Soto. Soto almost lost control of it. Bird with it on the left corner. He'll put up the three ball. It's off the iron. Burns goes way up high to grab the rebound over Muchmore. Puts up the right-hand shot from underneath the basket. It's missed. Bird grabs the offensive rebound. It's an air ball, and it's grabbed by Demetrius. And there's Xavier McCord cherry picking. I'm glad that pass went out of play because Xavier has no business cherry picking up 34 points.
Yeah, again, they have a major issue with that. Again, as he was there to potentially slam dunk that thing home. And not a kosher play there by Coach Rusty Horsley.
Well, I don't know if you can maybe put that on Horsley, or more so on Xavier McCord.
Absolutely.
Scott goes into the lane and it's blocked by.
And hopefully Coach Rusty Horsley
Jackson
does discuss with McCord on that one of, hey, that is not cool at this point in time.
I understand you don't want to get complacent or anything like that, but there's a right way to do things and a wrong way, and that's not a good one. As Bird puts up and under, and he's fouled by Graydon Buell, so Bird will go to the line to shoot 2.
Be 17 foul called on Cheyenne, so bonus time for the remainder of the fourth quarter for the Fightin Bison.
8. I almost gave us more time on the clock. 6:45 left in the fourth quarter on the Pepsi scoreboard as Bird hits his first free throw. Coming in is Leandre Ray for Alex Soto. Soto will get a hand as this is Soto's first time, or at least his first season on the varsity team. We didn't see him last year as Bird hits both free throws. Bird is now 6 for 7 as we'll get some more substitutions. Jake Rail will come in for East. Tanner Muchmore will take a seat. So it's the McCord twins, Buell, Jackson, and Rail on the floor for East. Phillips, Burns, Bird, Scott, and Ray, the starting 5 for South as McCord will go into the lane. Puts up the shot. He's fouled by Phillips on the way up. Phillips will pick up his second.
And team 7th on Cheyenne South, so both teams in the bonus.
So McCord will go to the line. McCord had 12 first half points. Looking for his first points here in the second half. Free throw attempt, too strong.
Yeah,
the one blemish has been the free throws tonight for East.
Yeah. And it's something that Coach Rusty Horsey is going to have to work on with his squad. Again, something that could be an Achilles heel for regionals and state for this team.
McCord, nothing but net on the second one. He's got 13 points. And the lead's back to 33 for Cheyenne East. Bird with the basketball at the top. Goes into the lane, stops, puts up a right-hand floater. Too strong off the right iron. Jackson grabs his 5th rebound tonight. Here comes Buell across the timeline. Nobody picks him up. He's jab steps, gets in the lane, loses the handle, and the ball is going to be picked up by Scott and then hand off to Phillips for South. Burns into the lane, fakes the pass, puts up the right-hand scooper up and in. Rail tried to try to get the charge, but he missed on the contact. 71-40 the score, 31-point lead. Buell on the right wing, doesn't take the 3, gets into the lane with the left hand, kick out. Demetrius will slow it down. Demetrius looking for someone to move. It looked like he was looking for his brother to move. Lob pass down low, slam dunk by Xavier McCord on the alley-oop.
And again, not happy with that play.
That one I don't mind as much as the cherry picking.
But again, it's still, though, you have a monstrous lead over a Cheyenne South team. There's no need to spike the ball like that. 33-point lead. Burns puts up the left wing 3. It's off the right iron. Bird grabs the rebound, but they're going to call an over the back foul on Cameron Bird, his second teammate, and it will be East basketball. And again, it was something I spoke to you about at halftime of where no need for the threes, no need for the slam dunks. Again, you've already beaten this team. You've done it enough. I can understand if it was at the Thunderdome, but here at neutral side of Story Gym, where it is technically the home contest for Cheyenne South, no need to beat them up already as is.
Reserves back in for East. Buell, Pope, Colgan, Rail, and Aumiller. As Rail gets in the lane, kicks over to Pope. Pope puts up the 15-footer. It's short, and the rebound comes to Phillips for South. That ball is nearly taken away by Aumiller. Kari Wright able to recover. Wright will kick it over to Phillips. Between the leg dribble, stops at the right wing. Now looking for someone to flash up high. It's Leandre Ray. Ray gets into the lane, stops into the paint. Kick out to Wright. Looking for the screen from Alexander. Gets the high screen. Gets into the lane. Puts up the right-hand shot. Too strong. The rebound comes to Colgan for East. Buell with the left hand. Gets into the lane. Kick over to Miller, who puts up the 3 ball off the back iron. And the long rebound will come back to Miller, who picks up his 6th rebound tonight. There's a 3 ball hit by Jake Rail. So Rail's got 5th. It has 5 now, and the lead is up to 36. Burns with the basketball at the top of the arc. Burns has a team-high 15 as Phillips puts up the three off the back iron. Rail grabs the rebound. Long pass to Buell. Buell goes to the right corner. Now he's in the lane. Nice pass to Pope on the right block. Pope will kick it out to Colgan. He'll put up a right wing three. Nothing but net for Aiden Colgan. Back-to-back threes for East as the lead is up to 39, the largest of the night for the Thunderbirds.
And again, do not agree with those play calls there. Again, also too, do have to fault South just a tiny bit of, again, not at least
Still got to play
heads.
defense,
Yeah.
right, absolutely. Kind of like the Belichick. If you don't want us to score, then you have to stop us.
Essentially, but again, that's the pros, but
Right.
this is
True.
high school, so.
As Alexander goes up to shoot and fouled on the way up, so he'll go to the line to shoot two, where he's 1 for 2 tonight.
18 foul called on Cheyenne East.
Foul was on Buell, his third. As Alexander's first free throw, nothing but net. Alexander, we've seen him play now. This is the second time. He's just a freshman. Him and Leandre Ray, that's good. Those are going to be two guys that you can build around with Cameron Burke.
Absolutely. Again, with Alexander, especially being a freshman, it's kind of similar to what we talked about with Chad DeBryant's squad last year with the Lady Fighting Bison. Again, he's got a lot of talent. They're young, but they need to develop under Jeff Bailey.
Xavier McCord comes back in for Miller as Alexander goes 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Rail across the timeline, 79-42, 37-point lead for East. Colgan on the right wing goes to Pope in the corner. Xavier will grab it as we'll get a substitution that everybody likes. Sounds like because the crowds for South gets up out of their seats. Starts cheering. Clark on the left wing. He'll put up the three ball. Got it. Alec Clark.
So at this
with
point,
the three.
Yeah, it is a 40-point lead, so it will be a running clock for the remainder of this, at least contest, as long as East retains that 40-point lead.
Burns bounce pass down low. It's taken away by Pope. Then he stepped out of bounds. As we will see, I think it's Dax Fisher that will come in for South.
As he'll get cheered on, and again, Caleb Phillips also too getting a applause from the student section of what his effort has been tonight for the Fighting Bison. And again, he's giving it its all.
McCoy Bush will come in for East for the first time tonight. Xavier will come out as Graydon Buell also checks in. They have 4 players on the floor right now as Pope needs to stay in. It's a power play. Scott puts up the three ball, rebound by Bush. His shot is blocked and Montoya grabs the rebound for East. Pope with the basketball to go to Montoya. He's wide open for three. He'll put it up. It's off the left iron. Graydon Buell grabs the rebound for East. Puts up the shot. It's blocked by Milazzo, but he'll go to the line to shoot two as he was fouled on the way up.
And again, even on free throw shots, the clock does not stop. It does continue on. Again, Cheyenne South will pick
Although
up their 19th.
Right now. Oh, no, now it's not. I just didn't, you can't see it click, so I was like, I've seen it.
I know what I'm doing here.
Right. Well, I know, but you
Yes,
sometimes you
yes.
don't know what the scorekeeper or the
This
board
is very-
operator.
This is very true.
Buell misses the first on the right end of the rim. 82-42. East's going to win wire to wire. They'll move to 12-1 on the season. 2-0 in conference for South. They'll move to 2-10, 0-2 in conference as Buell goes 1 for 2 from the line. He's got 3 points. As KRAE Wright comes across the timeline, dribbling with the right hand as we're at 120. That ball is nearly taken away. A 3-ball bank shot off the left iron. That was a long pass to Montoya, who will lay it in with the right hand. His first 2 points, and for a senior who doesn't see a lot of playing time, a big 2 points. I believe he's a senior. I have him listed. Oh, sorry, he's a junior. Typo on my end. Bush gets into the lane, almost taken away by Clark. South with the basketball. They're down. It says 43.
Yeah, down by 43.
With the basketball, Bush bounce pass down low to Scott. Scott with the right hand, nice swim through move, lays it in with the left hand over the shot block of Graydon Buell.
And give credit to the Fighting Bison. Again, still with heart, trying to at least put points on the board.
Buell puts up a 3 from the right wing and connects. He's got 6. It's time for some of these guys just to get theirs. Right into the lane. It's going to be no, the foul's on the floor. They're going to say it's not a jump ball. So KRAE Wright will go to the line to shoot 2.
And again, as the clock winds down, about 18 seconds left, and we'll take the shot again. It does not stop here during free throw shots.
So I believe this should probably wind it down, although they have the clock
Actually
stopped.
yeah.
Wright rattles in the first one. For KRAE Wright, it's his first points tonight. For East, they're 11 of 23 from the, 11 of 18 from the free throw line. Second one for Wright. That one rattles in as well. He's got 2 points now. They're 12 of 24, or 12 of 19 as Buell will give it a couple of dribbles, and that will be the final horn. A big win, a big sweep for East tonight as the boys win by 42, 88 to 46. We'll take a 1-minute timeout. We'll have final stats for you. You're watching and listening to high school basketball on 1480 KRAE. Welcome back inside historic Story Gymnasium, where the Thunderbirds sweep the South High Fightin Bison on a, well, really a exclamation point, 88-46 victory over Cheyenne South.
And again, you give credit to Cheyenne East on both the ladies and guys sides. They are the number 2 team in Class 4A for a reason, and both teams proved it tonight. Again, against the Lady Fightin Bison and the South High Fightin Bison. Again, going back to the girls contest earlier on, again, you don't knock Cheyenne South of what they did. Chad DeBryan, he's got a good squad on his hands. Again, just a few turnovers here and there that they need to work on. Again, a few opportunities. They need to work a bit on the defense side, but again, free throws, what kept them in that contest, kept it a lot closer than what it should have been. Again, I give credit to Cheyenne South. They competed. They did not fret that. Cheyenne, or at least Cheyenne East, has 1 loss on this season so far, so I give credit there. On the Sky side, it pretty much went to Hoyle. Again, to be honest, of this contest, again, for Cheyenne East, they are a very talented team, a very good team. That offense is extremely potent. The only Achilles heel, and something that you'll talk about in the stats, is that free throw shooting. Something to keep a close eye as we get closer to regionals and state tournament time with this East High Thunderbirds team. And again, for Cheyenne South, it is a team that is going to build. It is preferably that long season for them. But again, as we talked about at the halftime, it is something that they need to work on, or at least take those small victories, like you mentioned in the third quarter. They won that quarter.
Right.
You take those small victories and build upon that into a winning program.
Absolutely, and he has some youth. He does have some youth.
Some very talented youth.
Right.
Again, as you mentioned with Alexander, again, only as a freshman. Again, someone who's going to be with this program, who's learning right now, who's going to be a formidable threat coming up, again, whether it's sophomore, junior, or senior year.
Well, they had a sophomore that led the way from them point-wise. Cade Burns had 17 points. Cameron Bird added 10. 4 points for Alexander, 4 for Ray, 3 for Jaden Cummings, 2 for KRAE Wright, and Caleb Phillips, their leading scorer. He just had 1 point tonight. For Jeff Bailey, this team shot 12 for 19 from the free throw line. They did have 25 turnovers in this matchup. For East, scoring aplenty throughout the top to bottom of the lineup. The only guy that did not, actually everybody that played tonight scored as well as minus I believe it's McCoy Bush who had checked in. He was the only one for East that did not score. They had 15 points for Eric Oliver, 13 for Demetrius McCord, 13 for Xavier McCord. Tanner Muchmore added 10. You had 5 points apiece for Jackson, Colgan, and Clark. 6 points for Miller, Graydon, Buell. 5 points for Jake Rail, 2 points for Jason Montoya, and Michael Pope added a 3-ball as well. They were 10 of 18 from the free throw line, a team that shoots 71% on the season from the free throw line. Again, that one, probably one black mark.
Yeah.
They did have 13 turnovers tonight. They did a very good job taking care of the basketball. What you saw was, you saw a team that has state championship aspirations go up against a team that's just trying to develop.
And I think that's a given. That's a given for the Eastside Thunderbirds. We expect that out of them. And again, at least more power to them of at least continuing on and getting through at least conference play, which I think, again, they're going to run into a few hiccups, whether it is Cheyenne Central, also too, again, maybe a Laramie team as well, even though they took care of them at least this past Wednesday. But again, for Cheyenne East, they kind of control their destiny at this point in time, at least in my opinion. Again, for Cheyenne South at this point in time, as well, adjust that really quickly here. For Cheyenne South, though, right now, the main factor for me was just kind of careless passes. It was almost a team that did not show up here to play, at least early in the first quarter, where, again, it was just kind of half-hearted passes that eventually became turnover steals and easy points for East High and the Thunderbirds. Yeah, and for the Eastside Thunderbirds, they go 2-0 to start the season on the conference play, and they do it against a formidable opponent in Laramie, as they have some matchup problems. But next week, it's going to be a new task for them, as for, I believe it's Central next week. We'll have here on Friday. Yeah, absolutely. Friday's contest the next time. We'll have high school basketball here on 1480 KRAE. Again, we'll be next Friday here at Story Gym. Once again, it will be East versus Central, so the crosstown rivalry. As we hear, again, right now, again, excuse us on that side as we are live. At least we had a little technical difficulties on the phone side, so we're going to try and quickly wrap up to avoid any more. But either way, though, for our next at least our next high school contest will be Central versus East. Again, that's going to be a fun one. Both girls and boys on both sides. That is going to be a fun one, but that will be next Friday here live at Story Gym, 5:30. Tentative schedule as always, because we have the JV squads up for beforehand. So again, tentative of 5:30 tip time for the girls and 7 o'clock for the boys between Cheyenne East and Cheyenne Central here live at Story Gym.
And I believe you and your dad are back.
At least for Pops, will be me, myself, me. And
myself
Pops,
and I, right? Might as well be the three of you.
I might as well. But either way, though, we'll be back in action here on 1480 KRAE coming up tomorrow with LCCC basketball over at the RAC. It will be LCCC men and women in action against Sheridan, the Generals and Lady Generals in town. It will be a 2 o'clock tip-off with the women up first, 4 o'clock with the men after the women wrap up. So, again, pregame about 1:40 here on 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and also video live streaming on Periscope and the 1480 KRAE YouTube channel.
Well, for Jacob Hamill back at the studios, keeping us honest and doing his very best.
He's trying his best with whatever technical difficulties we're having with our phone.
We'll blame it on the old wiring up here at the Story Gymnasium. But he did a great job back at the house at the 1480 KRAE studios. For my partner Nick Peretti, bringing you all the video on Periscope and YouTube, doing a great job with the graphics and everything like that. I am Chris Polton. We thank you for watching watching and listening to high school basketball. We'll take you back to your regular scheduled program on 1480 KRAE.